Wade Boggs will lead off for the Boston Red Sox. Led Major League Baseball in hitting 357 during the year. Went 3 for 5 on Saturday night. Boggs, a left-hand hitter. Mets will play him a step to right on the infield and straight away in the outfield. The windup by Darling, the pitch. High and away, 1 ball and no strikes. And the 7th and deciding game is underway. Wade Boggs, left-hand hitter, slight crouch, strike call, 1 ball and 1 strike. Boggs hitless in 7 times at bat so far in postseason play against Ron Darling. Darling lost to Bruce Hurst 1-0 in Game 1 of the World Series. His second start of the World Series at Fenway Park, he won by a score of 6-2. Now Darling blowing on his pitching hand. The game time temperature 53. Fastball inside low, 2-1. On the infield for New York, Keith Hernandez at first. Tim Tuffel is playing second. Rafael Santana is short and Ray Knight at third. 2-1 delivery, foul ball, no play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the outfield, Kevin Mitchell at left. Mookie Wilson in center and Darryl Strawberry around at right. The catcher is Gary Carter. Now Mookie has moved over into left center field against Wade Boggs. Count is 2-2 and the pitch on the way. Wide, ball 3. The plate umpire tonight is John Kibler. He's the senior umpire on the field and was behind the plate when the World Series got underway. Full count, 3-2. Payoff delivery and a liner to short. Caught by Santana, 1 down. Boggs to a sizzling liner right at Santana, 1 man down.
He only needs 26 more outs.
Oh, my. A little early to start the countdown. Now 1 out and nobody on, and here's the hitting star of postseason play, Marty Barrett, the Red Sox second baseman. He has 12 hits in 25 times at bat in the World Series, batting .480. He needs only 1 more hit to tie the World Series record. The windup by Darling, the pitch, inside and low, it is ball 1. Bobby Richardson of the Yankees and Lou Brock of the Cardinals to pile 13 base hits in a 7-game series. That is the record, and Marty Barrett now has 12. Darling checking it out with Gary Carter. Strike call to the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Magnificent moment for both Ron Darling and Bruce Hurst. Darling 15-6 during the year, 26-8 in games started by Darling. The Mets won. They won 26 and lost only 8. Mookie playing over to right center now against Marty Barrett. His base hits have not been flukes. He's hit the ball awfully hard throughout the World Series.
Marty.
Now the pitch on the way. At the knees, a strike call.
Red Sox may wish their fans had not taunted Darryl Strawberry.
It all began at Fenway when the fans started getting on Darryl Strawberry with a cry of Darryl, Darryl. Now it's 1-2 on Marty Barrett. Marty Barrett, a fantastic postseason. 1-2 delivery and a bloop in the air to short right. Coming in Strawberry. He'll be under it, 2 down. Barrett retired on a fly ball to short right. Good pitch by Ron Darling. He got it in his kitchen that time. Came right in on his hands. 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Billy Buckner. Todd will give Buckner a cheer. Kind of a cheer in reverse. Buckner with the error in the 10th inning Saturday night, and able the Mets to win an amazing baseball game.
He's getting a standing ovation.
John McNamara defends his position of having Buckner in the lineup, and in all truthfulness, it should be said that his handicap, not being able to run, had nothing at all to do with the error. He was in front of the ground ball. He just didn't get his glove down far enough. Now 2 outs, nobody on, pitch to Buckner. Strike call to the outside corner. Last year's World Series went to a 7th ball game, and it was a blowout. Brent Saberhagen shut out the St. Louis Cardinals, with Kansas City winning 11-0. Will we have a tight game here tonight, or will this be a blowout one way or the other? So much pressure. Darling side again. The pitch on the way. Grounder foul down the right field line. Good curveball by Ron Darling that was low and inside. We mentioned that John Kibler is the plate umpire tonight. 23-year National League umpiring veteran. He'll be flying to his California home tomorrow. Jim Evans of the American League at first. Harry Wendelstedt of the National League at second. The American League's Joe Brinkman at third. Dale Ford and Ed Montague are on the foul line. Now Darling into the windup. The 2-strike delivery. High and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Billy Buckner. Buckner, a lifetime .295 hitter. He does have good hands and made very few errors during the course of the year. Jim Rice is the on-deck hitter. Pitching 1-2, and a bloop over toward the left field line. It may drop there. No, foul ball at the last moment. Boy, Buckner came awfully close to collecting a bloop double down the left field line. He was jammed, but he used an inside-out swing, and he served it right down the left field line and just fouled.
He would have had a double easily on that because the Mets are playing him way around as a left-handed batter, and Kevin Mitchell in left field was swung way over in that gap, so he was a long way from the baseball.
During the regular season, as they won 108 ball games, if the Mets had a trademark, it was that they would score very early in a ball game, give their pitcher something to work with. The opposite has been true in postseason play. They have not been able to score early in the ball games. They've won 7 games to get here, and in 4 of the 7, they won it in their final turn at bat. 9th inning, 10th inning, 12th inning, and 16th inning. Outside to Billy Buckner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 10-inning struggle on Saturday night, a little over 4 hours long, and it left everybody absolutely limp. If you missed out, the Mets were down by 2 runs, 2 outs and nobody on. Last of the 10th inning, they rallied to win. Pitching 2-2. Hit hard toward the hole, base hit to right. So Billy Buckner has a hard single into right field. Time to swing just right on a curveball. So a 2-out single to right for Buckner. It'll bring up Jim Rice, the cleanup batter.
Billy will probably never concentrate at the plate as much as he will in this game, not only because it's Game 7, but because of what he believes he owes to his ball club.
And he's off to a very good start with a good-looking base hit. And now the always dangerous Jim Rice comes up. Rice in the World Series hitting .304 on 7 hits in 23 at-bats. Red Sox have had 3 home runs in the World Series. Dave Henderson has hit 2 and Dwight Evans 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Jim Rice is 0 for 3 against Ron Darling in the previous game. So Billy Buckner, who certainly is not a base stealer, is on first. Keith Hernandez holding against Buckner. Santana maybe a step to left is short against Jim Rice. The pitch on the way, in the dirt but blocked by Gary Carter. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jim Rice. It has been a long time since the Red Sox have won a World Series. Since 1918. In recent years, they've been in 3 World Series. All 3 have gone to the 7th game, and they've lost all 3. 2 to the Cardinals and 1 to Cincinnati. American League, however, has won the last 3 World Series. Kansas City beating St. Louis last year in 7 ball games. The pitch on the way, fouled out of play. 1-2 on Jim Rice. Last year, for the first time in World Series history, Kansas City lost the first 2 games at home, but came back to win the World Series. That was the first time that had ever happened. The Mets are trying to do it and become the 2nd team to do it. This is the 7th and deciding ball game. 1-2, the count on Jim Rice. The pitch. Foul tip. He hangs in there, and the count stays. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rene Latchman on the coaching lines at third for John McNamara. Walt Reniak, the hitting coach, on the lines at first. The pitching coach is Bill Fisher, former major leaguer who had outstanding control. Crowd ready to explode if Darling can get Jim Rice out. Infield and the outfield just about straight away. The pitch on the way, lined hard to right. Strawberry on the run, makes the catch. The inning is over. Well hit drive to right field. Strawberry running full speed toward the right field line, and he snared it. That looked like real trouble. No runs, a hit, a man left on. Middle of inning 1 at Shea, no score. Left-hander Bruce Hurst on the mound for Boston. He would not have been there had the game been played last night, but it was rained out. John McNamara then able to bring Hurst back to the mound on 3 nights rest. Mookie Wilson will be leading off. Mookie 3 for 7 against the left-hander. The windup by Hurst. And a ground ball hit slowly to second base. Marty Barrett looks it into his glove. Throws to Buckner, 1 man down. So Mookie hitting the first pitch is grounded out. 1 out and nobody on, and Timmy Tuffel will come up. You know, starting November 2nd at 9 p.m., Bob Costas joins Sports Radio 1050 with his new talk radio show, Costas Coast to Coast. Remember, November 2nd, Costas Coast to Coast on 1050 WHM. Timmy Tuffel has been the best hitter on the ball club against left-hander Bruce Hurst. 4 hits in 7 times at bat, including an opposite field home run at Fenway Park. In the World Series, the Mets have 5 home runs. The Red Sox have 3. Off the outside corner, 1 ball and no strikes. The home team has not been hitting the home runs in this World Series. Keith Hernandez is in the on-deck circle. Now the left-hander delivers. Strike call to the outside corner. With 3 days rest, Bruce Hurst probably should be very strong, at least for 5 or 6 innings, and maybe for the entire 9. Classy left-hander, a 13-game winner during the season. Foul tipped, no play, 1 and 2. He would have won, I'm sure, more than 13, probably 16 or 17, but he was on the disabled list in the middle of the year and missed about 6 weeks. He has been brilliant in postseason play. In the American League Championship Series, he won 1 and had a no decision. In the World Series, he has beaten the Mets twice. Now the pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the infield, Billy Buckner at first, Marty Barrett at second. Spike Owen playing short and Wade Boggs at third. Jim Rice in left, Dave Henderson in center, Dwight Evans in right. High pop-up on the right side of the infield. Marty Barrett midway between first and second is waiting. 2 men down. And Bruce Hurst off to an impressive start.
A great control that he has. Rarely will ever walk a batter. New York Mets will probably do, as Mookie did, some first ball hitting in this ball game, figuring that'll be their best pitch.
Hurst is primarily a fastball, breaking ball, forkball pitcher. He has a good forkball that he throws for a changeup. Keith Hernandez 1 for 7 against Bruce Hurst. In the World Series, Keith hitting at 227. 5 hits in 22 times at bat. No score last of inning 1 in Game 7 here at Shea. There's no tomorrow. This is it. Now the windup, left-hander against left-hander. Inside it's ball 1. So the Mets have played 174 ball games since opening day. It comes down to this final ball game. The same can be said for the Boston Red Sox. They've actually played 1 more. They went 7 games in the League Championship Series. Hernandez waiting for the noise to quiet after the commercial airliner goes overhead. 2 outs, nobody on. Last of inning 1, the pitch. Breaking ball strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Both managers will treat this as there is no tomorrow. They would use all 10 of their pitchers if they felt it was required. Waiting on a 1-1 delivery and a drive in the air to center field. Henderson in front of it waiting. Grabs it for the out. Keith Hernandez hitting in hard luck. Hard line drive right at Dave Henderson, and the Mets are out quietly. Both teams had a batter hit a line drive into an out. At the end of 1 inning, no score. In the visiting 2nd inning, the veteran right fielder Dwight Evans will be up against Ron Darling. In the World Series, Dwight hitting 273 on 6 hits in 22 times at bat. Right-hand power hitter. He has one of the 3 Red Sox home runs in this World Series. He hit his home run off Dwight Gooden. Darling will look in now to Gary Carter. The infield and outfield straight away. Curve outside. 1 ball and no strikes. If the Mets win here tonight, there will be a big ticker tape parade in Manhattan tomorrow beginning at 12 o'clock. But only if they win. It would start from Battery Park and wind up at City Hall. The 1-0 delivery fouled off the end of the bat and back into the crowd. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Even if they lose, Bob, we do remind people that there will be a noontime ceremony at City Hall. There would not be a parade if they lose, but they will recognize the Mets at noontime at City Hall.
1-1 on Dwight Evans, the leadoff batter, top of the 2nd. Fouled a straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rich Gedman is the on-deck batter. In the World Series, the Red Sox have a team batting average of 279. Now time asked for by Dwight Evans. He'll step back for a moment. Incredible baseball game Saturday night. The 1-2 delivery inside and low. It looked like the season was over for New York. Red Sox took a 2-run lead in the 10th inning. Dave Henderson opened with a home run off Aguilera. First two batters up in the bottom half of the 10th inning were retired. Then Gary Carter singled. Kevin Mitchell singled. Ray Knight singled. A wild pitch and an error, and the Mets won it. Swing, and he fouled it, no play. He almost had him struck out with a real good curveball. So the Mets, who have had so many very difficult ball games in postseason play, once again won a game of their final turn at bat to arrive here at Game 7. They would have preferred, of course, to play last night, but last night's game rained out. Had the game been last night, Oil Can, a right-hander, would have been on the mound. Inside, ball 3, 3-2 on Dwight Evans. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the second and no score at Shea Stadium in Game 7. Darling sighting in the pitch. High pop foul, probably out of play. Hernandez going over all the way to the crowd. No play. That's a souvenir baseball landing in the crowd. Very foggy and hazy here tonight. Still a possibility of a passing rain shower before the night is over. Earlier today, it looked like we would have a good night for the ball game, and it has not worked out that way. At the moment, it's all right. It's not raining at all. 3-2 on Dwight Evans. The payoff pitch. Well hit fly ball deep to left center, way back, way up there, going and gone. A home run, Dwight Evans. The Red Sox in front, 1-0. Oh, he hit that a ton to deep left center field. Way back into the pavilion. The Red Sox are on top. Evans getting his second World Series home run. He had 26 during the season.
First earned run that they've been able to pick up for Ron Darling, and boy, that went over the 396 mark and beyond the seats in those bleacher pavilion area and over the head of everybody out underneath the diamond vision.
Now the pitch on the way to Gedman is low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Sometimes Darling will struggle with that control in the early innings. He struggled and he went to 3-2 and he got a fastball to hit. Foul behind third and no play. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the pattern already is being set that the Mets have been following throughout postseason play. Unlike the regular season, when they frequently had an early lead, they've been battling from behind in the postseason ball games. They are now behind 1-0. Hit hard but foul down the right field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gedman. One thing you knew the Red Sox would not be demoralized, that they would come back really fighting hard. A professional group, a team good enough to win the American League and to beat the Angels in postseason play. Their job probably has been helped by the rainout last night. Tonight they get Bruce Hurst back on the mound.
Nobody has given the Mets any more trouble than Bruce Hurst has given New York.
Keith Hernandez wanting to talk to Timmy Tuffel.
Part of the facade that the extra fans were sitting in front of down the right field line collapsed as they leaned out trying to get that ground ball. That's where the extra seats were put in, and now we're going to have a delay. They're going to have to get the wooden paneling, which they're using, the buffer between the fans and the field, put back together again.
Well, they've picked it up and straightened it up. How long it'll stay there without being braced, I don't know. It just totally collapsed.
Everybody leaned out in that first row down there in those extra seats trying to get the ground ball that was foul. When they did, the whole thing went. Someone sprawling on top of it.
So we're going to have to wait here for a moment while they figure out what they're going to do about it. All of the umpires are over there. The umpires will make sure that the field is playable and that thing will not collapse again right away. Now the ground crew coming down to see if they can be of any help. Just a temporary wall about belt high put there to protect the fans of the 2 new added rows to get more seating during the World Series. I don't know whether they're going to have to wait until they do some carpenter work down there or not.
Umpire indicating that they want a hammer brought out. Ground crew has a tough time getting out here. Down behind home plate where they usually come out, they got a big movable trailer spot, so they can't get out through that gate. They have to come out through the New York Mets dugout. So they're going to send them back to get a hammer so they can try and put this thing back together again.
Boston has taken a 1-0 lead on a home run by Dwight Evans, the right fielder. What a marvelous career Dwight Evans has put together for the Boston Red Sox. Power hitter with 26 home runs during the regular season.
veterans you would expect to come through in the Game 7. Those are the guys who have been around before, and Evans has been around before. He has seen a couple of Boston Red Sox 7th games and added that one. He really took a shot on that one. Ronnie gave up 21 home runs during the season. That's his second home run given up in postseason play.
Well, it looks like they have the fence patched up now. The umpires are satisfied that we can go along. I think we will know in a moment. Veteran umpire Harry Wendelstedt talking with the senior umpire John Kibler, and apparently they are satisfied that it's all right now. Play will resume with a count of 1-2 on the Boston catcher, Rich Gedman. Red Sox now with one run on 2 base hits. The American League won the World Series last year, winning the 7th game. Young Brett Saberhagen shut out St. Louis. Now the windup by Darling, the pitch on the way. High fly, deep to right center, way back. Strawberry to the wall, jumping, and he caught it. No! Couldn't get it. It's a home run. It is a home run. I thought for a moment Strawberry had made the catch, may have hit his glove and skipped over the wall. Back-to-back home runs off Ron Darling. And Boston has a 2-0 lead. Darling got to the wall, or Strawberry got to the wall. He's tall. He went right up into the air, and I think he got a glove on it. Yes, above the fence. He had his glove on it, but probably his wrist at the top of the fence, and flipped it out of there.
Would have been one of those great catches, wouldn't you know it? Dwight Evans had that happen to him in Fenway Park on a ball that went out for a home run. And here in this one, it happens to Darryl Strawberry, the right fielder of the Mets.
Now 2-0, and Dave Henderson, the batter, takes high, ball 1. Ron Darling giving up back-to-back home runs to Dwight Evans and to Rich Gedman. Now a fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. First 2 batters up in the second inning have hit home runs, and they've both been very long home runs. 2-0 delivery, foul ball, straight back, no play. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Ron Darling, hoping for a good start here tonight, does not have it. Gave up a single to Buckner in the opening inning, and now back-to-back home runs. Red Sox had only 3 home runs in the first 6 games of this World Series. Now they hit them back-to-back here in the second inning. And the home run hitting star of the series is up right now, Dave Henderson. The pitch to him, low and outside, it goes to 3-1.
The third time Ronnie's given those up. Early in the season, Philadelphia had back-to-back home runs off him, and in July, Cincinnati did.
3-1 delivery, ball 4, and he's struggling. He walks Dave Henderson, still nobody out. And it'll bring up the shortstop, Spike Owen. Owen having a very good World Series. Batting .353 on 6 for 17. Now Davey Johnson wants Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, to go out to the mound and see if he can be of help here to Ron Darling. Bound to put you in a little state of shock when you reach for 2 long ones like that.
Ronnie had been working the corners in the first inning very well, moving it inside and out. But on those pitches that he delivered to Evans and Gedman, they were strikes that were right in the wheelhouse. 10th time in the World Series there have been back-to-back home runs.
Darling gave that long ball up to Gedman, and Strawberry came awfully close to catching the ball. Darryl, who's about 6'5½", leaped into the air. His glove was up over the fence. He got his glove on it, but I think his wrist probably hit the top of the fence, and it just flipped it out of there and on over the wall. So the Red Sox with a 2-0 lead in the second inning. And again, the Mets face a come-from-behind effort. Nobody out here. The trouble far from being over, and Spike Owen is the batter. He's hitting .395 in postseason play. Through to first is not in time. For Ron Darling, his 3rd World Series start. He had not given up an earned run to the Red Sox at his first 2 starts. He lost the opening game 1-0. The run was unearned. Now the stretch by Darling. The pitch on the way. At the knees, a strike call. He won at Fenway Park, did not give up an earned run, hurling 7 innings in both of his 2 previous starts. But he has been rocked here in the second. Dwight Evans, a home run to deep left center, and Gedman, a home run to deep right center. Gedman has good power. He has 16 in the regular season. Spike Owen, left-hand batter. He's a switch hitter batting left. Through to first, not in time. And the pitcher, Bruce Hurst, will be coming up next. So the Red Sox with their heavy artillery lugged to the front certainly have quieted down the big throng here at Shea Stadium. Let's have their infield looking for two. And a fastball knee high for a strike called. Darling looking for his first out of the inning. Now has a two-strike advantage on Spike Owen. Hurst will be next, and then Wade Boggs at the top of the order. But Darling is struggling, and he knows it. Many times, a talented starter like a Ron Darling will not have their good command in the first inning or two. They can fight their way through it. They're all right. Sometimes you just can't get through those things. Darling turns, throws over to first. Dave Henderson has good speed. He's the runner on first, reaching on the walk supply offered by Ron Darling. Darling having a lot of trouble, and so he slowed the pace way down, trying to think out each pitch very carefully. Now the pitch, and a bloop into short left. Back goes Santana. He'll be under it, and takes it for the out. Turned out to be an easy play for Santana. One man away, and it brings up Bruce Hurst. Now let's see if Johnny McNamara, the Red Sox manager, wants his pitcher to bunt Henderson over to second for Wade Boggs. You'd have to believe that he probably will.
Yeah, with these pitchers not having a chance to hit during the season, really that's probably the best you can hope for at the plate with them. And in that situation, with Boggs coming up, that's not a bad situation in any event.
So Ray Knight will come in on the grass at third to play for the bunt. This is a Hernandez specialty. He'll try to cheat and get in there close. Bunted on, fair ball. Knight bobbles the ball. Darling picks it up, throws. They got him at first base. Knight overran the ball, got a glove on it, couldn't field it. But Darling was right behind him, picked it up, and threw on to first where Tuffel covered in time for the out. Very unusual play, and it came awfully close to going terribly wrong for New York.
That's will swallow hard on that one. Ray Knight had come in so close that time that when the ball took the big hop off the bat, it went right over the glove, went by him.
Now there are two men away, and here he is, the leading hitter in baseball, Wade Boggs, with a runner in scoring position. Boggs lined out to Santana in the first inning. His bat had been rather quiet until Saturday night, but in the Saturday night game, Boggs had 3 hits in 5 at-bats, including a double. He's up there now with a chance to drive in, still another Bo Sox run. Now the pitch on the way, fastball, strike one call. Red Sox 2 runs, 3 hits. The Mets no runs and no hits. Marty Barrett is the on-deck batter. Darling peering in to Gary Carter. Henderson leading from second. Low inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Dave Henderson grabbing a pretty good lead out at second base. Darling needing to slam the door right here. 2 runs have already scored on back-to-back home runs. Now the 1-1 pitch. A little wide to Wade Boggs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Boggs, an American Leaguer for 5 years, 3 times in 5 years, winning the American League batting title, including this year. Nosing out Don Mattingly for the crown this year. 2-1 delivery. Strike call to the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Mets are now behind 2-0 to a pitcher who has allowed them very, very little. Hurst shut out New York 1-0. He won at Fenway Park 4-2. The 2-2 delivery and a ground ball hit sharply, base hit going into left center. Henderson around third, flying home. Mookie's throw not in time. 3-0 Boston. Boggs drives in a run with a hard smash right through the middle. And Boston with a flying start. In front, 3-0.
Well, credit the pitcher, Bruce Hurst, really helped himself as he got that runner down into scoring position, and Boggs getting his first hit off Ron Darling in this World Series. And a big one.
Darling not working with his good stuff here tonight, and the Red Sox are pointing him right toward the wall. Now the hitter coming up will be Marty Barrett. And Wade Boggs has his bat going now. They kept him in check pretty well for the first 5 games. He broke out in Game 6. Now it is 3-0 Boston. The pitch to Marty Barrett at the knees, a strike call. Marty Barrett needs only 1 hit of this ball game to tie the World Series record for base hits in a 7-game series. Bobby Richardson had 13. Lou Brock had 13. Now Darling from the stretch. And the pitch on the way. Bunted down the third base line. They're letting it roll, and it's going to be a fair ball. A base hit for Marty Barrett. And the Red Sox now have 4 hits of the inning. Another hit for Marty Barrett. His 13th in the World Series, and he ties the record.
Phenomenal. He's now hitting over 480 in World Series play and over 420 in postseason play for the Red Sox.
He can do nothing wrong in this World Series. He's a good ball player on a marvelous roll. That bunt was absolutely perfect. Sid Fernandez will get up in the bullpen for the New York Mets. Darling now has allowed 4 hits and a walk. Here in the top of the second, the Bo Sox are in front 3-0. The 8th man to bat of the inning is Billy Buckner. Buckner singled to right in the first. Ron Darling desperately needing to get that third out here in the top of the second inning. Now the stretch and the pitch on the way. Outside, it's ball 1. Jim Rice is the on-deck batter. Buckner, the 8th man up in the inning. Dwight Evans led off with a long home run to left center. Gedman followed with a home run to right center. Since then, a walk, a sacrifice, and a Wade Boggs base hit, delivering the third run to the plate. 1-0 delivery. Line to the air to left center on the run. Mookie going back, reaching up, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Well hit drive deep to left center. Mookie running it down at the last moment, and the inning is finally over. But the Red Sox were really rocking Ron Darling. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 were left on. At the end of an inning and a half, Boston 3, New York nothing. Well, the Red Sox have boldly moved out to a 3-0 lead. Gary Carter batting for New York, bunts the ball. Off the mound is Hurst. The throw, and it's in time to get him. Gary Carter trying to bunt for a base hit. That's surprising. Gary doesn't run well enough to bunt for a hit, but he thought he had the surprise element going. And it was a pretty close play.
If he'd been able to get it by Hurst a little more down the third baseline, he would have had the base hit that time. Hurst was able to cut it off. Boggs playing way back would not have been able to get him.
Ron Darling had not given Boston an earned run in the 2 previous games. He was hit hard in the second, and Boston scored 3. Hurst has not been hit by New York. Maybe the third time around will be a charm for New York. Darryl Strawberry, the hitter, takes ball 1. Left-hander against left-hander. A high pop fly into shallow left field. Jim Rice with a world of time walking in under it, and he has it for the out. So very quickly, 2 up and 2 cast aside, and Ray Knight will be coming on to hit. Ray now hitting over 300 in the World Series on 6 for 19. Ray Knight had a decisive hit for the Mets on Saturday night. Mets have fallen behind 3-0. Boston 3 runs on 5 hits. And New York no runs on no hits. Doug Sisk is up in the bullpen for New York, and so is Sid Fernandez. Fernandez relieved and pitched brilliantly at Fenway Park in Boston. Now Ray Knight batting .316 in the World Series. Ray did not have a good league championship series, but has had his bat going in the World Series. Fastball, strike 1 call. 28-year-old left-hander Bruce Hurst, the Boston pitcher, 13-8, and a 2.99 ERA during the season. He's now 3-0 in postseason play. Low outside, looked like the fork ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Buddy Harrelson on the coaching lines at third. Bill Robinson is coaching at first. Kevin Mitchell waiting on deck. And the pitch on the way. Breaking ball low. It's 2-1. Kevin Mitchell had a very timely hit in the 10th inning Saturday night. And Davey has him back in the lineup tonight against the left-hander, Bruce Hurst. You may see a lot of pitchers before this game is over. 2-1 delivery, hit hard on the ground, base hit. That goes into center field. So Ray Knight is on with a hard single to center. 2 outs and 1 on, and Kevin Mitchell will be coming up to hit. Stanley Tools, the tool company that helps you do things right. Salutes Jesse Barfield of the Blue Jays. Jesse led the American League with 40 home runs. Stanley Tools salutes Jesse Barfield, who does things right. here's Kevin Mitchell standing in. Last time at bat was in the 10th inning Saturday night, and he drilled a single to center. New York behind 3-0, bottom half of the second. That was the first hit allowed by Bruce Hurst. Kevin Mitchell batting for the first time against left-hander Bruce Hurst. Now the stretch by the left-hander. The pitch on the way. Breaking ball, strike on the outside corner. Johnny McNamara, the manager of the Red Sox, pacing the dugout floor, checking out his defensive alignment. Check swing, slow ground ball down to Billy Buckner. He'll run to the bag, and the inning is over. Mitchell did not mean to hit that one, and becomes an easy out. No runs, one hit, a man left. At the end of 2 at Shea. Top of the third now at Shea Stadium. The Red Sox come up against right-hander Ron Darling. And coming up to paint the word picture for you, Gary Thorne.
Jim Rice batting cleanup leads it off. Pitch to him is whacked to left field deep. Mookie Wilson going back on the warning track, looking up, hits the base of the wall, going into second Rice. Here comes Mookie's throw, sliding. He is out at second base. Kevin Mitchell in left field hauled it in off the base of the wall, and they got Rice by a step, tried to make that into a double. Good play by Mitch, who has not had all that much time out in left field this year.
He really made a marvelous throw, Gary. Got that carom coming off of the wall, is whirled. He has a strong arm, and the throw could not have been better. Tuffel had the ball waiting on Jim Rice. And what a good one there for the New York Mets. Looked like the Red Sox were continuing a rout.
Boy, they are hitting the ball hard off Ron Darling. A single, 7-4 on the putout, 1 down here in the top of the third inning. And games played here at Shea Stadium. The 3 games, New York against New York, the Red Sox are hitting .305 here at Shea Stadium.
They hit better at Shea Stadium than they do in Fenway Park.
Absolutely. The delivery is down low to Dwight Evans. Evans delivered the first of 2 home runs in the second inning. Evans having excellent postseason opportunities and taking advantage of them now. He had trouble driving in runs earlier in this series. Don't forget about that with that home run. His second World Series home run, and he now has 7 runs batted in. Swung on, hit in the air to center shallow. Mookie Wilson coming in, waiting underneath it. He'll put it away, and there are 2 down. Let's pause right here for station identification.
Hi, I'm Stan Martin. You're listening to the World Series on Sports Radio 1050 WHN, New York's country music station.
Gary Thorne and Bob Murphy with you, Shea Stadium. The packed house, a whole lot quieter now than a couple of innings ago. And the Red Sox picking up the 3 runs in the second inning to take a 3-0 lead. Rich Gedman up with 2 away. Pitch is a strike called. Gedman with the back-to-back home runs in the second inning. Gedman getting his first home run in World Series play. And for the Boston catcher, it's going to be his first RBI. Gedman in the World Series hitting only .192 coming into this ball game. .278 in postseason. Ground ball to first base. Hernandez behind the bag will go there himself, and Darling is out of the inning. No runs on a hit and nobody left on at the end of 2.5. Sox 3, Mets nothing. Bruce Hurst, who has won games 1 and 5, trying to become the 13th pitcher in World Series history to come away with 3 wins in a single World Series set. Mickey Lolich, the last one to do it in 1968. Harry Breachin did it versus Boston in 46. Bob Gibson did it versus Boston for St. Louis. And Hurst has a 3-0 lead. Santana takes the pitch outside, ball 1. Rafael will lead it off here in the bottom of the third inning with Darling and Wilson to follow. The left-hander's delivery. Fastball missing up high, ball 2, 2-0. Santana 4 for 17 in the series and 1 for 4 against Bruce Hurst. 2-0 delivery taken for a strike on the inside corner. Santana will just try and get on right here. If he can edge out a walk, he will. Like Gary Carter bunting for the base hit, Mets need base runners. Swung on and fouled off. Hurst comes right back. Takes the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 6 hits for Boston already, and they've tagged the ball hard on more than 1 out against Ron Darling. Back-to-back home runs by the Sox in the second inning. Swung on and fouled back onto the screen. Count will remain at 2-2. Here at Shea Stadium, in the 3 games played here, the New York Mets have hit only .204, with Boston hitting .305. The Mets, of course, have taken advantage of opportunities for those miracles for the Amazons to get to Game 7. Santana choking up, 2-2 delivery to him. Swung on and missed. Got him with a good breaking ball that came in on him. And Hurst picks up the strikeout, first of the ball game. 1 down. Ron Darling comes to the plate. With nobody on and 1 away. The People Express team of airlines, with their low prices and frequent service from Newark and Farmingdale to over 140 cities. They cover all the bases. Pitch to Darling is hit in the air to right field, fairly deep. Going back, Evans on the warning track hauls it in by the 371 mark. Ronnie hit it hard the other way, but Evans, who was playing pretty deep for a pitcher being at the plate, had time to get back to get it.
He not only had to go back to the warning track, but he had to angle it, go over in the right center, right in front of that 371 mark. You're right, Gary. He was back there deep for a pitcher.
He was playing a straightaway right field. 2 down, nobody on. That'll bring up the leadoff batter, Mookie Wilson. Mookie 0 for 1, grounded out his first time up. He is 3 for 9 in the series against Hurst, the left-hander. Mets have just 1 hit, single by Ray Knight with 2 down in the second inning. Mookie batting right-handed against the lefty. Mookie hit .287 against left-handers this year. Pitch to him is a fastball up high, ball 1. Bruce Hurst is 3-0 in postseason play. Only 2 runs have scored on 14 hits, now 15 against him. Pitch misses up high again, 2-0. His 2 starts, he's worked 17 innings, giving up only 5 walks, striking out 14 Mets. 2-0 delivery to Wilson, swung on, fouled off, first base away, and the count will go 2-1. 2 down, nobody on, 3-0. Red Sox lead. 28-year-old left-hander on the mound ready, and the 2-1 delivery. Swung on, hit hard to right field. Evans going back on the warning track, has room and makes the catch. 2 long fly balls to right field, hit by right-handers, and Evans gets them both. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 3, Red Sox lead 3-0. Dave Henderson will lead it off in the top of the 4th inning. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Red Sox, no runs, and 1 single off Bruce Hurst for the New York Mets. Henderson drew a walk and scored in the second inning, and the Sox picked up their 3 runs on 4 hits in that inning. Breaking ball by Darling is a strike call to Dave Henderson.
See, Davey Johnson has Sid Fernandez back working now, the New York bullpen.
They have to get him ready next time Ron Darling's due up. The Mets haven't done anything. He'll have to pinch hit. Look out, hit him. Pitch inside, got away from him. Came running in at the belt level, and Henderson is on, hit by a pitch.
3rd inning in a row now. The Red Sox have had their leadoff batter on base.
It'd be tough to pitch that way. But caught him on the front side of the hip. Henderson on at first base. That'll bring up Spike Owen. Owen popped out his first time up. Shortstop is 0 for 4 against Ron Darling, but he's had an excellent postseason. Batting .353 in the World Series. He has picked up a couple of RBIs in addition. And in postseason play for Owen, hitting .395. He has gathered 15 hits in postseason play and 5 runs batted in. The shortstop, the Boston Red Sox, who is a switch hitter, batting left-handed against Darling. 25 years old. A much better postseason than regular season, in which he hit .231. Owen ready, Ray Knight playing in at third base. The delivery, swinging away, hits it hard to right at Darryl Strawberry. Straw's got it, 1 down.
Gary, they're hitting everything hard.
You're seeing some real shots. You're getting that sound off the bat, which is what you want as a hitter. In fact, the New York Mets got the same thing on those fly balls in their half of the 3rd inning. They were hit right at somebody, and Sid Fernandez and Ray Knight will come over to talk to Ron Darling now, with Hurst coming up and the runner at first, expecting the bunt. Hurst laid down a good sacrifice bunt in the second inning that set up Henderson's run after he had walked. Boggs drove him in with a single. Go to first base to get Henderson back. Henderson does not have a lot of stolen bases. But Henderson has shown on the base paths, once he gets wound up and running, excellent speed. Bunting out in front, played by Knight. He'll have to go to first base with Tuffel covering, and another good sacrifice bunt. There's two good ones laid down by Bruce Hurst. Well, he gets the runner to second with 2 away.
You have to know they've really been working on their bunting since this series got underway.
They don't even go in the cage during the season, except to fool around once in a while. Davy Johnson is coming out now with the left-hander Boggs up. And Davy is going to make the pitching change right here. Sid Fernandez, who has been warming up, is going to come out of the game. As Davy Johnson figuring, Ron Darling getting hit a little too hard. Ronnie gives it a shake of the head. An unhappy 26-year-old right-hander who has sparkled for the Mets, and the Mets fans recognizing that, applauding him as he goes into the dugout. Not what he wanted here tonight, and Sid Fernandez will come on in relief. So with the pitching change, we'll pause for this message. Left-hander Sid Fernandez comes in an interesting situation, as often happens in baseball. Here's the guy who started all season for the New York Mets in that rotation. He was the one who was knocked out of the rotation, and now comes into a situation where he has a chance to go potentially long in this ball game with a score 3-0 Red Sox leading, and good move with Wade Boggs coming up.
I think it's a very good move. And if Sid could pitch tonight the way he pitched against the Red Sox at Fenway Park, it'll turn out to be a very, very good move. He had 4 scoreless innings, allowed only 1 hit. I believe that was the double by Dave Henderson.
So Sid Fernandez for the New York Mets, who finished a magnificent season at 16-6. Started 31 games for New York, had a couple of complete games and 1 shutout. 3.52 is earned run average on the year. Sid pitched 204 innings. He gave up 91 walks and, of course, finished up striking out the final batter he faced during the regular season, as he and Dwight Gooden both finished with an even 200 strikeouts on the year. So Sid Fernandez will come on and face Wade Boggs with a runner at second and 2 down, as Darling will go 3 2/3 innings. The Red Sox picked up 6 hits off him. He did not strike out a batter and walked 1. 2 home runs. Back-to-back home runs in the second inning, Evans and Gedman getting them, and the 1 walk to Henderson, who ultimately scored. So Sid Fernandez, the left-hander who appeared in Game 5, going 4 innings in that one, gave up no runs on 3 hits, did not walk a batter, and struck out 5 Boston Red Sox. Wade Boggs has singled and lined to short. Boggs has an RBI, and there's a runner at second again. The delivery, fastball missing down low, ball 1. Wade Boggs, now in World Series play, has picked up 3 RBIs, and he has had his 9th hit. He's just under 300 in this World Series. Pitch to him is up high again by the left-hander. 2 balls and no strikes. As we've mentioned before, Boggs does not have trouble hitting left-handers. He hit .352 against lefties. He had the highest batting average for the Red Sox against both left and right-handers. The 2-0 delivery to him, swung on and fouled off the handle behind home plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wade Boggs in postseason play hitting .263. Picked up 16 hits now and 5 runs batted in. 2 down, a runner at second. 3-0 Red Sox lead. Henderson. Base runner Boggs drove in the second inning on second base. Pitch, strike call at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Henderson getting a good lead at second base. He'll have little trouble scoring on a base hit. And that's our giving Boggs the middle. Henderson's well off. Pitch, breaking ball outside, and the count goes full, 3-2. Marty Barrett is waiting on deck. 3-2 count, 2 down. Rafael Santana backing way up at shortstop now. 3-2 delivery. Inside he walked it. Now Sid Fernandez walks the first batter he faces. Second walk of the game given up by the Met pitchers. Runners at first and second, 2 down, and Marty Barrett. The 3-0 lead, and Hurst on the mound. 1 or 2 more runs loom mighty large on that board. Sid Fernandez, knowing that, will have to bear down against the right-hander Barrett, who has singled and flied out to right field. Marty Barrett. that single in the second inning. Pitch to him. Strike called. Marty Barrett has tied the record for hits in a World Series at 13. He will set a new record. He can get another base hit in this ball game. 2 on, 2 down. Outfield swung around towards right, playing him to hit behind the left-hander, and Sid Fernandez will back off. Barrett did fly out to right field in the first inning. Barrett hit .273 against lefties. Red Sox hit well against left-handers. Sid Fernandez with an 0-1 count. Checks Henderson at second. Delivery is down low, scooped out by Gary Carter. 1 ball and 1 strike. Marty Barrett now in the World Series, 13 hits and 27 times to the plate. Just under 500 batting average for him. 1-1. Left-hander's delivery is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. That slow curve, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's the pitch the Red Sox will have a whole lot of trouble catching up with on Sid Fernandez when he throttles back and delivers that off-speed breaking ball. Barrett will step out with a 1-2 count on it. Sid Fernandez ready. Fans want to strike out. The 1-2 delivery. Fastball missed inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Marty Barrett tying Bobby Richardson and Lou Brock with the 13 base hits. Richardson did it in '64 and Brock in 1967. He has now had 11 singles. That's too shy of the 7-game record set by Sam Rice of Washington in 1925 for the most singles in a 7-game series. 2-2 count, 2 away. Here's the delivery. Swung on, hit in the air to right field. Strawberry, plenty of time. He's under it, and that's the inning. So the Red Sox will leave a couple on here in the top of the 4th inning. Met fans exhorting New York on. 3-0, bottom of the 4th inning. Timmy Tuffel, Keith Hernandez, and Gary Carter up. Tuffel popped out his first time up. Timmy now 4 for 8 against Hurst. Pitch swung on and missed. Fooled him. Pitch down low. Breaking ball. 1 strike. Like a fork ball that time. Red Sox have already left 5 more base runners on here in this game. They've had that throughout this series. They have a chance to set a record for most base runners left on the 7-game series. 9 shy of that coming into this one. Pitch to Tuffel misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. They have now left a total of 68 base runners on these 7 games. 1-1 delivery. Strike called. More importantly, they have put 3 across. Final numbers on Darling: 3 runs on 6 hits and 3 2/3. 1 hit batter, 2 home runs, a walk, and no strikeouts. First, 1 ball, 2 strike count on Tim Tuffel. The left-hander's delivery swung on and fouled off outside of third. And the count is 1-2. I think there's any question when you're in a game like this, Game 7, come to the plate 3 runs down, knowing every time at bat is absolutely essential. You have got to feel a little pressure on standing at the plate. 1-2 count. First delivery, swung on and missed, got him with an off-speed pitch. Second strikeout. Tuffel goes down swinging, 1 away. First baseman Keith Hernandez coming up. Keith flied to center, hit the ball hard his first time up.
Late Saturday night, when it looked like the Red Sox had won the World Series, the panel selecting the MVP had voted the award to Bruce Hurst. So obviously, if he wins here tonight, he'll win it again.
He'll win it unanimously if he wins here tonight. He is a classy left-handed pitcher. Delivery to Hernandez. Fastball inside, turning him away. Ball 1. Uniformly consistent, Bruce Hurst. All 3 games that we have seen him in, it's the same. Good control, good strikes. 1-0 pitch, strike called in the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. He rarely gets behind on hitters. During the season, 174 innings, gave up only 50 walks, struck out 167, just under 1 per inning. Breaking ball hit in the air, deep to right field. Going back, Dwight Evans reaches up and makes the catch. Going to the power alley in right center field. And Hurst has another long fly ball to right.
Boy, he's got good outfield play, particularly from Dwight Evans, who already has made 3 pretty good plays in the outfield. None were impossible catches, but nonetheless good outfield play.
2 down, nobody on. Gary Carter coming up. The Mets have hit the ball hard off him, but they are hitting it mostly the other way. Keith Hernandez did pull that one. See what Carter can do after trying to bunt his way on in the second inning. Pitch fastball, misses outside, ball 1. Gary laid a bunt down, and Hurst threw him out.
Keep hitting it hard. Look, that's twice he said, I'll drive hard to the outfield. That has been playable.
1-0 delivery, swung on and foul tipped, 1-1. A good fork ball that dropped off the table. Gary just got a piece of that hitting on top of the baseball. You know, you can win a trip to the New York Mets spring training camp in St. Petersburg. Tune in to WHN 1050 tomorrow and play Mystery Met Game. Delivery to Carter, swung on a ground ball to second. Marty Barrett in front of it has it over to Bill Buckner, and Carter's retired, and Hurst has another good inning. We've completed 4 at Shea. Red Sox lead the Mets 3-0. Sid Fernandez on in relief will start his first full inning here as we go to the 5th with Bob Murphy.
Inning 5, Billy Buckner leading off against Sid Fernandez. Boston 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. New York no runs, only 1 hit, and no errors. Buckner is 1 for 2. Both times has hit it hard. Fastball over, strike 1. Billy Buckner ripped a single to right field in the opening inning. And he lined out hard to deep center to Mookie Wilson, who made a good play on the ball in the second inning. Looked like it was going to go over Mookie's head and drive a run home. Nobody on and nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. High fly ball hit to right. Lazy fly. Strawberry easing in under it. Makes the catch. And the right fielders are getting a lot of play in the game here tonight.
Sid must be on. 2 fly balls to right field.
And that's his game. He's a fly ball out pitcher. And Dwight Evans is having a very big night in right field for Boston. He has 3 putouts, and all 3 have been on balls that have been hit very hard. Now Jim Rice, the batter, and he's 1 for 2. The pitch on the way by Sid. Swing on a miss, strike 1. Good fastball. Rice, the cleanup batter, lined out to Strawberry, and then singled to left field. He actually singled over the head of Mitchell off the wall, tried for a double, and Mitchell threw him out. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Visiting 5th inning in Game 7 of the World Series. Last time the Red Sox were in a World Series was 1975. And the 2-strike delivery, swing and a miss, got him. Hernandez fans Jim Rice on 3 pitches. Sid was magnificent in relief at Fenway Park, pitching 4 scoreless innings and allowing only 1 base hit. Here's Dwight Evans, the right fielder. He gave the Red Sox a 1-0 lead when he led off the second against Ron Darling with a Ruthian home run over the crowd in the pavilion in left center field. Dwight Evans, a long-time power hitter for the Boston Red Sox. And he really hasn't shown too many signs of slowing up very much. Had 26 home runs during the season. And the pitch on the way, strike call to the outside corner. Sid Fernandez may not stay in the game too long. As soon as his turn at bat comes up, he'll probably have to leave. And the left-hander's pitch on the way, curve a strike on the inside corner. And he's looking like money in the bank.
Evans backed out on that one, wondering what was that.
Now Sid with a 2-strike count on Dwight Evans. Evans 1 for 2. That was the long home run. 2-strike delivery. Struck him out. Swinging. Sid Fernandez turns the crowd on. Fanning Jim Rice and Dwight Evans. Red Sox are gone in the 5th inning. Nothing across. Well, we're halfway in Game 7. And after 4.5 innings, Boston 3 and New York nothing. Last of inning 5. Time to play the Daily News hometown homer game. Darryl Strawberry, the hitter. And a fastball, strike 1 call. Darryl 0 for 1, skied to left. Mets are hitting for Tony Sciarra of North Caldwell, New Jersey, and Mrs. A. Maines of the Bronx. Outside low, 1-1. So if the Mets hit a home run in this half inning, they will win $1,000. Mets have had only one hit off the left-hander, Bruce Hurst. The 1-1 delivery. He held the swing in time. Low outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Ray Knight, the on-deck batter, has the only hit given up by the left-hander. That was a hard single to center field. Mets are down 3-0. The pitch. Breaking ball just outside, 3-1. Hurst will walk only about 2 per 9 innings. His control is just impeccable. Crowd's starting to build now and getting excited. They've had nothing to cheer about so far except the pitching of Sid Fernandez in the last inning. And that really got him turned on. 3-1 delivery. High fly ball hit the deep right center field. Back goes Henderson on the warning track, and he makes the catch. Another warning track shot.
For those balls, when you get balls that are hit that hard and that deep, it means you haven't missed a home run by very much. That's just a little bit under the baseball now 3 times by Met batters.
And you might say the air is too heavy for a home run, except for the fact that Dwight Evans and Rich Gedman have both homered for Boston. 1 to left center and 1 to right center. One by a right-hand batter, the other by a left-hand hitter. So 1 out and nobody on. They have just been missing. Ray Knight has the only hit off the stylish left-hander, Bruce Hurst. The left-hander's wind up the pitch under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. That's in need of getting it going now. They're now in the 5th inning and down 3-0 in Game 7. That's batting for Tony Chiara of North Caldwell, New Jersey. This is Baines of the Bronx. Strike call, 1-1. That's won 108 games during the regular season. 4 from the Astros and 3 from the Red Sox, a total of 115. They desperately need 1 more. Hit off the end of the bat, foul down the first baseline, no play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. For the 2 teams who emerged in the World Series, it is a very long season that began back as far as about February the 20th, with the pitchers and catchers reported to spring training. For those who get all the way to the World Series, the baseball season lasts about 8 months, counting the preseason. Ray Knight waiting on a 1-2 delivery, low outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ray hitting over 300 in the World Series. They had him in check during the League Championship Series, but he's been a strong hitter in the World Series. Mets have not hit in postseason play the way they did during the regular season. 2-2 delivery and a bouncing ball over the mound, moving for it, Spike Owen. The throw to Buckner, 2 men down. And Bruce Hurst is on a roll. If he's working on 3 days rest, you would never know it. He has now retired the last 9 straight batters. The Mets have had only 1 base runner, and that was Ray Knight, a single in the 2nd inning. So this has been a Bruce Hurst series. It's been a left-hander's series. The Mets have done well when Bobby Ojeda has been on the mound. The Red Sox have done well when they've had Bruce Hurst out there. And the other Met left-hander, Sid Fernandez, has been brilliant in relief. Kevin Mitchell, the hitter, squib, foul, strike 1. They've always said of baseball that it's a left-hander's game. If you get a quality left-hander out there, he seems to be far more unbeatable than a quality right-hander. Now Gedman providing the target. Way inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. It certainly has been true of this series.
You can add Orozco to that list too, Bob. He's only given up a couple of hits. He's not been scored on either in 3 innings of relief work.
And he won 3 games in the League Championship Series. Grounder foul, hit down to Buddy Harrelson on the lines at 3rd. That's won 4 games to get to the World Series from Houston. Orozco won 3 of the 4. Bobby Ojeda won the other one. So the games won in postseason, count them up, they belong to the left-handers. Kevin Mitchell windmilling the batter around. Now the pitch on the way, and a foul ball back into the crowd. Ron Darling has a victory in the World Series. Left-handers had all 4 of the wins in the League Championship Series. Rick Aguilera got a win Saturday night in relief when the Mets pulled the game out after Aguilera had given up 2 runs at the top of the 10th inning. Now Hurst into his motion. The pitch on the way. Foul back. No play. Kevin Mitchell hangs in there with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boston leading 3-0. Mets are batting in their bottom half of the fifth inning, and they've had nothing off this left-hander. Only one base runner, a single to center by Ray Knight in the second. He's been better tonight than he has been in the two previous starts. But that's hard to believe. Now the pitch on the way. Struck him out, swinging. Turned that one over. Breaking ball to Mitchell. Third strikeout for Bruce Hurst. Mets are out quietly. He now has retired 10 in a row. And at the end of 5 at Shea Stadium, Boston 3 and New York nothing. Now the sixth inning at Shea Stadium in Game 7 of the World Series. Rich Gedman, Dave Henderson, and Spike Owen come to bat against Sid Fernandez, who relieved the starter, Ron Darling. In relief, Sid gave up a walk to Wade Boggs. Since then has retired 4 in a row. That's trailing 3-0. Left-hander against left-hander. Swing and a miss, strike one. This will be Sid's last inning of work, as he is due to bat in the bottom half of this inning, the sixth. Now Sid checking it out with Gary Carter. Gedman homered his first time up tonight. Swing and a miss, high Hardwick.
Sanahara O. Gedman got that Japanese swing. Let go of the bat, weight on the front foot, winding up behind your head. It's been successful for him.
Yeah, you look at it, you say, hey, he won't hit home runs, but he does. Now the two-strike pitch. Strike 3. Fastball to the outside corner. 3 strikeouts in a row for Sid Fernandez. And it brings up center fielder Dave Henderson. So far, this is the fastest moving ball game of the World Series because the pitchers have been front and center. And when the run scored in the second inning, they scored in a hurry. Evans homered, Gedman homered. A walk, a sacrifice, a base hit by Wade Boggs drove in Henderson with the third run, and that's the scoring. Boston ahead, 3-0. Right-hand batter Henderson waiting. He's walked and been hit by a pitch ball. Fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. This is the only baseball game being played in America. And when this one is over, the season is over. The pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gary Thorne, being the good Lord willing, if the creek don't rise, I'll see you in St. Pete.
Yeah, one more time.
One more time, at least.
At least.
1-1 on the right-hand batter, Dave Henderson. What a year, though, for New York. Win or lose here tonight. The 1-1 delivery, high and away. Admittedly, a better year if they win. But nonetheless, a year that has already seen them win 115 ball games. Manager Davey Johnson will be leaving on Wednesday for Japan with an all-star team. High pop fly into shallow left center. Calling for the ball, Mookie Wilson waiting, and Mookie puts it away for the out. So now there are 2 away and nobody on at the top of the sixth inning. And to the plate will come Spike Owen. Hernandez just brilliant so far in relief. 4 magnificent innings at Fenway Park, where they said a left-hander like Sid could not start or pitch well. The funny thing is, Darrell Johnson was telling me they've never hit against a pitcher like Sid Fernandez. He might do very, very well.
That motion he's got is mighty tough to pick up on, even when you've seen him in the course of a season.
Now 2 outs and nobody on. Switch hitter Spike Owen, turning around and batting right-handed against Sid. The pitch on the way, high foul, wafted out of play. This will land up in the crowd down the right field line. And a 1-strike count on Spike Owen. So the parade may not be in New York. It may be in Boston, unless the Mets can once more fight an uphill climb. Sid Fernandez, the young lefty, deals up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sid, only 23 years old. He has come a long way in a hurry and should have a magnificent future. When the season is over, he'll return to his home, the 50th state, Hawaii. 1-1 on Spike Owen. Now the pitch thrown, foul straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mookie Wilson playing shallow and way over in right center against Spike Owen. Boston 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. New York has had only 1 base runner, Ray Knight, singled in the second inning, and that has been it. Bruce Hurst has been just making it look easy so far here tonight, bidding for his 3rd World Series triumph, to join a list of other prominent pitchers like Harry the Cat Burkeen and Bob Gibson. Strike call to the inside corner. 4 strikeouts for Sid Fernandez. He was brilliant in relief. Probably is through now. He's due to bat. No runs, no hits, nobody left. In the middle of the sixth inning, it's Jay. Boston 3 and New York nothing. Rafael Santana leading off last of the sixth inning. Hurst has retired 10 in a row. And it's over, strike one call. Lee Mazzilli is out on deck. Maz will bat for Sid Fernandez. And Roger McDowell is getting ready in the New York Mets bullpen. And the pitch on the way inside high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hurst has been absolutely unhittable over the first 5 innings, allowing no runs and 1 single. The 1-1 delivery. Ground ball hit over the mound towards second base. Run down by Owen. The throw in time. Got him by a stride. Good play. Spike Owen has excellent range. The Red Sox shortstop who came from Seattle very late in the year. Now Lee Mazzilli. And Maz will be turning around and hitting right-handed. A switch hitter all of his life, but he's always been a better hitter batting left-handed. Mazzilli has the only pinch hit of this World Series. He delivered that and later scored a big run in the come-from-behind win on Saturday night. And Bruce Hurst has set down 11 straight batters. 3-0 Red Sox lead. Game 7, bottom half of the sixth inning. Red Sox are getting just what they wanted. A magnificent effort from the left-hander Bruce Hurst. He is without a doubt the star of the World Series. And the pitch by the left-hander, Mazzilli bluffing at a bunt. Outside and low, ball 1. Mookie Wilson on deck. Must need to get on the board, to get a run up there and get a little bit closer. It's hard to get a run when you can't get a hit. Gedman behind the plate, setting that low target. Pitch missing, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Pat on the back to Sid Fernandez, who again pitched brilliantly in relief. Came on for the starting pitcher, Ron Darling. Strike call, it's 2-1 to Lee Mazzilli. Maz hitting for Sid Fernandez. They're playing Mazzilli straight away on the infield and in the outfield. Ground line drive down the right field line, foul ball, no play. Late swing at that, and the count is 2-2.
Not many of the New York Mets are getting around on Bruce Hurst. He keeps them off balance, even though he may give you the off-speed pitch. You're double clutching so often, you hit it the other way.
Funny how you heard so much about Roger Clemens and feared him so much, and probably rightfully so. But the pitching star for Boston has been Bruce Hurst. Same was true the last time a left-hander or a pitcher won 3 in the World Series. Mickey Lolich was number 2 on that step, but he was the guy who won the 3 ball games. Two, the count on Lee Mazzilli. Now the pitch, and a ground ball base hit going through the hole to left field. They gave Maz a wide hole on the left side of the infield. They played him to hit the ball up the middle. Instead, he pulled the ball and hit a clean single into left field. And there is the second hit of the game for New York. Hurst had retired 11 in a row.
Made a mistake on that pitch, put his head down after he threw it. Looked like he almost changed his mind in the windup to where he was going to put that pitch. Came in with just a straight, medium-speed fastball, kept it right in the middle of the strike zone. Don't know what happened on it. Ball may have slipped on him, but it's not where he wanted it.
Now here's Mookie with 1 out and 1 on. Mookie batting leadoff is 0 for 2. In the third inning, he hit a long drive to the warning track at right field that was caught by right fielder Dwight Evans. Now the stretch. And a throw to first, not in time. Buckner, not holding against Mazzilli, playing a couple of strides behind him, ran to the bag to take the throw. Mazzilli had to run into him to get back to first base. He wound up pushing Buckner off the bag. The pitch. Line drive base hit down the left field line. Lee Mazzilli will round second and hold there, and that was a good-looking hit by Mookie Wilson. Now, for the first time tonight, the Mets are stirring things up. Hard line drive base hit. Looked like a hanging breaking ball, and Mookie got it just exactly right.
Yeah, that's another mistake by him. He hasn't made mistakes tonight. 2 in a row right there. Fastball to Mazzilli in the wheelhouse, and that one a hanging curve. Mookie jumped on it. May even have been a little high, but Mookie's one of those good bad ball hitters, if you will. If he can get a good bat on it up high, he'll drive it.
First time the Mets have had a runner on second base And they send a sign to the Red Sox bullpen for hurry-up warm-up action. They believe that their left-hander, who's working on 3 days rest, may get a little bit arm weary, and this is the first indication. Steve Crawford, a right-hander, will get up in the bullpen. Now the hitter is Timmy Tuffel. Timmy is 0 for 2. He has popped to second and been struck out. Mets behind 3-0 as they bat in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 1 man away. The left-hander into the stop position delivers. Look out. Almost hit him. It was inside. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Keith Hernandez is on deck, and then Gary Carter.
Timmy had that short right field home run off first at Fenway.
Coming into the game, he was 4 for 7 against Bruce Hurst. The pitch. Outside, throw to first, look out. Save. Oh, they almost had Mookie Wilson. And Mookie dove headlong and just got back, and he may have hurt himself. Davey Johnson coming on the field. Also coming out will be assistant trainer Bob Sykes.
I think Buckner may have got him going back into the bag that time. Buckner was still moving, had that knee out in front, and he kneed Mookie right in the right shoulder as Mookie was diving in head first.
Now Mookie is all right. Runners on first and second and 1 down. First exciting moment offensively for New York in the ball game tonight. 2 balls and no strikes to Tim Tuffel. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Good breaking ball by Bruce Hurst. They have a right-hander, Steve Crawford, getting ready in the Boston bullpen. That's sorely needing to get on the board, to get at least 1 here, and get a little closer to the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox scored 3 in the second, and they have a 3-0 lead. Mazzilli, who started things, on second. Mookie Wilson on first. 2-1 delivery. Inside ball 3. That just missed. And the count goes to 3-1. Keith Hernandez is waiting on deck. Keith has had 2 previous turns at bat in this ball game. Both times has hit the ball hard against Hurst, and both times been retired. A line drive to the center fielder, and a long drive to Evans, the right fielder. Boy, this crowd is coming up now. The Mets fans are starting to stand and make the noise. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. Keith Hernandez is coming up. The bases are loaded. Timmy Tuffel draws a walk. So now Mazzilli is on third. Mookie Wilson on second. Tim Tuffel on first. And Keith Hernandez coming to bat. And here comes John McNamara, the manager of the Boston Red Sox. While he walks to the mound, we'll pause for station identification.
This is Sheila York, and you're listening to the World Series on Sports Radio 1050 WHN, New York's country music station.
Bob Murphy with Gary Thorne. We hope you're enjoying our coverage on WHN of this World Series. I can't believe that he's going to change pitchers right now. He has a right-hander in the bullpen, and the Mets have Keith Hernandez coming up. But he does want to go out and have a talk with Bruce Hurst. So now, for the first time in the ballgame, the Mets have a chance to really get back in it. Coming into this inning, they'd had only 1 man on base in the first 5 innings. Lee Mazzilli, a pinch hitter, got it going with a single to left. Mookie single to left. Tuffel has drawn a walk. The bases are loaded. It has not been a good World Series for Keith Hernandez. He's 5 hits in 24 times at bat, hitting about 215. But as mentioned, his 2 at-bats here tonight, he's hit the ball hard both times and been out. Now Hurst will look in to Rich Gedman to get his sign. Gary Carter is waiting on deck. Mazzilli, the lead runner, on third. Mookie Wilson on second. Tim Tuffel on first. Time asked for by Hernandez and granted by the plate umpire John Kibler.
Keith wants him to think a little more about this situation.
Now Hurst will again look into his catcher. The infield a step to right, looking for 2. The outfield a step to right. The pitch on the way. Breaking ball, strike. Good pitch by left-hander Bruce Hurst. Gary Carter is waiting on deck. Whether or not the left-hander pitches to Carter remains to be seen. They have Crawford, the right-hander, ready in the bullpen. Now Hernandez windmilling the bat around, waiting on Bruce Hurst. That's trailing 3-0. the pitch. And a line drive base hit going in the gap in left center. Mazzilli will score. Rounding third is Mookie. Mookie will score. 3-2. 3-2. Clean, hard line drive single to left center by Keith Hernandez, driving home Mazzilli and Mookie Wilson. Now it's 3-2. 1 man away. Runners on first and third. And Gary Carter is coming up. Big hit.
That's only his second and third RBIs of the World Series, but Keith Hernandez, who has been Mr. Clutch for the New York Mets for all these seasons, continues to do that. Drove the high pitch up in the strike zone where they weren't playing him, and that's in that alleyway in left center field.
And now Wally Backman is coming on the field to run for Timmy Tuffel. Backman will go to third base and run for Tuffel. And Gary Carter is the batter. Remember, 1 man away, a long outfield fly, and it doesn't have to be too long with Backman running. Now this game would be tied up. Gary Carter is 0 for 2. So was Keith Hernandez when he got that big hit. That's trailing 3-2. And a fly ball hit the right field, not very deep. Backman tagging up. Evans dives for it, trapped it. It's a base hit. A run will score. Hernandez trying to get to second, and he's out at second. Hernandez out at second. Run scores. Game tied. 3-3. Hernandez thought the ball had been caught at right field by Dwight Evans, and he was frozen near first base. The right field umpire, Dale Ford, gave the sign the ball was trapped. Hernandez then tried to get to second, could not get there. The ball was thrown in, and Keith was tagged out going into second base.
Keith complaining that Dale Ford did not give the call quickly enough. He is really upset. He was hollering out at Ford, and he's being helped back by Ray Knight, and John Kibler's going to meet him, the home plate umpire. Keith Hernandez really let Dale Ford have it. Ford, though, I really think called that as quickly as he could. Evans dove for the ball and was tumbling, and Ford could not tell whether he had it or not. And finally, when he was able to see the ball squirt loose, he gave the safe sign, but Keith was heading back to first base, and it was too late to get to second.
And the Mets really hate to lose that base runner. That's a fluke single for Gary Carter, and a run batted in. The hitter is Strawberry. Throw to first, not in time. 3 runs in. Mets again have come from behind. They've tied up game 7. Strawberry, the hitter. Darrell is 0 for 2. Bruce Hurst trying to weather the outbreak here. The left-hander throws to first base, and Gary Carter is standing right on the bag. Roger McDowell will be coming on in the 7th inning. Mets had only 1 base runner, only 1 single over the first 5 innings. Lee Mazzilli started things off with a pinch single. He has been the catalyst in the inning. Now the Mets have tied it up, and they're hoping to get the lead as Strawberry stands in. Now Darrell will step out.
Lee's been the only guy who's been able to do anything as a pinch hitter in this series. To his credit, getting that going, and a big walk picked up by Tuffel on a good time at bat.
But Hernandez got into second. What a situation. Line fly ball hit into short left field. Coming in, Jim Rice. Diving, Rice rolling over, makes the catch. Diving catch by Jim Rice. He came straight in. He had to leave his feet. He had to dive, but he caught it. The inning is over, but the Mets have tied the ball game. They score 3 runs. There were 4 hits. The Mets will leave 1. Now a different ball game in Game 7. At the end of 6, the Mets 3 and the Red Sox 3. 55,000 plus, a sellout 7th game of the World Series. Boston dominating in the first 5 innings. The Mets, as they have done so many times in postseason play, coming back to tie the ball game. And now it looks like the Red Sox will make a move and put up a pinch hitter for their pitcher, Bruce Hurst. And the Mets have a new pitcher in the ball game, and Gary Thorne will tell you all about it.
We have not seen Tony Armas in this World Series, but he is out in the on-deck circle to face right-hander Roger McDowell. Give a lot of credit to Sid Fernandez. He really fired this ball club up by striking out 4 in 2 1/3 innings, giving up no runs and no hits, and walking only 1. He got the fans on their feet again, and the New York Mets were able to take advantage of it in the 6th inning to get this thing tied. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Red Sox, 3 runs on 5 hits for the New York Mets. And Tony Armas, who played a lot of center field, is going to come on and pinch hit for Bruce Hurst to lead off the top half of the 7th inning.
And Gary, John McNamara has Cal Schiraldi now warming up at the Bo Sox bullpen.
Tony Armas, a right-handed batter. He hit .265 this season, played 121 games, 11 home runs. McDowell's pitch is swung on and fouled off the home plate umpire, John Kibler. He felt that one. Strike one. That one right over Carter's glove and right into his leg. Armas, a .251 career hitter, a 10-year veteran in the major leagues, played with Oakland for a number of years, and then on to the Boston Red Sox since 1983. Had been injured, unable to play in the World Series, had played some games in the American League Championship Series. The delivery to him is swung on a chopper to third. Knight plays it in foul territory. It'll go as a strike, and Roger McDowell's ahead on the count here. 2 strikes. Tony Armas finally getting a chance at the plate. He injured a right ankle in the 5th game of the American League Championship Series. Not played since then. Now at the plate in a 3-3 ball game. 2-strike count on him. Roger McDowell winds and delivers. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Armas goes down swinging. One away in the 7th inning. Wade Boggs with Marty Barrett on deck. Roger McDowell in World Series play as pitching in his 5th ball game. He's pitched 6 1/3 innings, 3 runs on 7 hits, striking out just 1 batter in the time he has been on in relief, and he faces Wade Boggs. It is a strike call. Boggs has singled, walked, and lined to short as Roger McDowell here in the 7th inning, playing close at the corners for him. Pitch, strike called again. McDowell goes ahead on the count 0-2. Roger appeared in Game 6, an inning and 2/3. Gave up a run unearned on 2 hits. His last outing. 0-2 delivery. Swung on a tapper to third. Knight's going to have a tough play. Picks it up. Strong throw. Scooped out. Keith Hernandez, a gold glove play at first base. Ooh, he just was able to pick that out. 2 down. It was a tough play for Keith because the tough play at third as well because Knight had to back up on it. Hernandez had to take it on the short hop, getting it in the glove, and there are 2 away. Marty Barrett coming up. He has singled. Trying to break the record for most hits in World Series play. He has tied that with 13. The delivery is swung on a chopper over the head of the pitcher. Santana coming, picks it up, throws to first, and that's it. 3 up and 3 down. 7th inning stretch. We're all tied at 3. Kelvin Schiraldi, the 24-year-old right-hander who took the loss in Game 6, is on in relief of Bruce Hurst as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The People Express team of airlines, with their low prices, you can enjoy away games from the stands instead of your sofa. Schiraldi in that ball game on Saturday night went 2 2/3, charged with 4 hits. As Jesse Orozco gets up the throw now for the New York Mets with Roger McDowell potentially coming up and Lenny Dykstra already out in the on-deck circle. Ray Knight, Mitchell Dew up next. Dykstra's out, though. Then Rafael Santana. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, all tied at 3. Hurst will be charged with 3 runs on 4 hits. Carter's ball in the outfield to Evans is a fielder's choice. He does get an RBI, but no hit since they threw Hernandez out at second base. Ray Knight has singled and grounded out. Schiraldi's delivery swung on and missed. Foul tipped at home plate. Strike 1. Schiraldi 0-1 in World Series, pitching in his 3rd game, 3 2/3 innings. He's been charged with 4 runs on 4 hits, 3 of them earned, striking out 2 and walking 3. Schiraldi had a great season for Boston out of the pen. 0-1 delivery. Knight takes a fastball up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Giraldi in postseason play has not won a game. He is 0-2, but he did pick up 2 saves in the American League Series and 1 save here in the World Series. Former New York Met. 1-1 pitch. Down low. Ball 2, 2-1. Fans on Giraldi. For that Kelvin. As the New York Met fans got on Hurst at the start of this game. Giraldi, 2-1 count, shakes off Gedman. Now the windup in the delivery. Swung on, hit in the air, fairly deep to left field. Going back near the wall, looking up. Goodbye! Home run, Ray Knight! The Mets lead 4-3. A tremendous blast into the pavilion over the 396 mark. A home run for the Mets third baseman.
That also will keep Roger McDowell in the ball game. That could be very, very important.
And the Mets have a 4-3 lead. Knight, who had only 11 home runs during the season, gets his first World Series home run. Giraldi giving it up. Lenny Dykstra pinch hitting for Mitchell. Takes the pitch down low, ball 1. And the fans here at Shea just on their feet and roaring. The delivery misses down low, and he's behind. 2 balls and no strikes.
You have to feel awfully good for Ray Knight, the comeback athlete of the year in baseball. His big game Saturday night kept the Mets in the World Series.
He delivered to Dykstra, misses down low, and Giraldi's behind 3-0. Ray Knight, who started the season out with 6 home runs in April, got only a couple of home runs in June, finished up with a 1 home run against Pittsburgh at the end of the year, and now gets one here in the World Series. Strike called to Dykstra, 3-1.
They have Bob Stanley, the right-hander, is Joe Sambito, a left-hander, working in that Red Sox bullpen.
Santana waiting on deck. The delivery is swung on, hit into right field. A base hit for Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra's on. He pulled that one between first and second base. Somebody shoots off a few fireworks prematurely out in center field, but Dykstra's on, and Cal Giraldi will have a visit to the mound by Bill Fisher, the pitching coach.
With Bill Fisher going out, it means he'll probably pitch to another hitter. Rafael Santana is due to come up, and with nobody out. Tough decision here for manager Davey Johnson. He'd like to keep McDowell in the ballgame. But if he has Santana bunt, then he almost has to put up a pinch hitter. I think he'll want McDowell in the ballgame, and he'll let Santana probably swing away.
Lenny Dykstra at first base, looking on with Bill Robinson standing near him as the meeting goes on at the mound.
And if the Mets can go on to win this ballgame, Gary, it will be the climax of a remarkable year by a marvelous guy, Ray Knight, who had batted .218 a year ago. Didn't look like he would be on the Mets ball club in spring training.
Davey Johnson's faith in that third baseman may ultimately pay off in the ultimate home run. We'll see.
Now let's see how they're going to play it. McDowell does come out on deck.
Santana coming to the plate, nobody out and a runner at first base. Giraldi had not given up a home run in postseason play in 9+ innings pitched. He gives one up to Ray Knight. Looking for a bunt, throw to first. Dykstra gets back. He had a pretty good lead over there. Calvin Giraldi, the right-hander. With Santana up, Boggs moving in at third. Nobody out. The delivery, fastball up high, ball 1, and Giraldi's getting behind all the batters he's facing here in the 7th inning. Ray Knight picking up the RBI, now has 5 runs batted in World Series play. Rafael Santana just trying to get the base hit right here. 1-0 count. Throw over. Dykstra diving back in safely.
Boy, you have to believe Dykstra wants to steal. He's taking a very daring lead over there.
Lenny getting a big lead off first base, being held by Buckner. Boggs has moved back now, believing Santana's not going to bunt. He's playing him even with the bag. Throw again, diving back in safely.
He's going to get picked off.
That's about as big a lead as Lenny Dykstra can afford to get.
Looks like the strategy is to try and have Dykstra steal second. And then maybe Santana can single him home because you have the pitcher coming up next. Pardon me, Gary. No, you want him to stay in the ballgame.
Lenny had 31 stolen bases. Santana waiting. 1-0 count on him. Lenny a big lead still. Not going. Pitch out. Gets by the catcher. Wild pitch. A pitch out and a wild pitch, and Dykstra's on at second base. He threw it way by Rich Gedman. As Gedman had the pitch out on, Dykstra was not going. And the ball was way outside of Gedman's reach. He could not get it hit off the top of his mitt. Wild pitch, runner at second base.
Now he may have Santana bunt the runner over to third.
And Gedman's going to go out and have a word with Cal Schiraldi, who may be coming a bit unglued here in the bottom of the seventh inning.
Remember, he's had only about a third of a season in the major leagues. He had a couple of brief outings with the New York Mets. But he spent most of this year at Pawtucket in the International League.
Appeared in 31 games at Pawtucket and 25 in Boston. 2-0 count. The delivery. Swung on, hit down to first. It is a fair ball. Base hit. Here comes Lenny Dykstra. He'll score. Santana hangs on. An RBI for Rafael Santana. And the Mets lead 5-3.
Rafael hit it late. Schiraldi's a hard thrower. He hit it right over the first base bag. Buckner made a dive for it, did not get that close to it. Down the line, a run-scoring hit. And what the Mets really wanted badly here was to pick up another run.
Raffy gets his second World Series RBI, as Rafael Santana has his fifth World Series hit. And the Mets now, with 7 hits, have a 5-3 lead. Now McDowell will bunt. Takes it for a strike. Still nobody out. McDowell's job here to get the runner down to second base. The New York Mets, with 3 runs in the 6th inning to tie it up, have scored 2 here in the bottom of the 7th and taken a 5-3 lead. Everybody playing for the bunt here. Buckner holding at first. Boggs creeping in at third base. Mookie Wilson on deck. McDowell squares, drops at first base. Hard bunt. Foul ball. Just outside the line. He was trying desperately to make Buckner field it, and he hit it too hard. Almost stayed on the line, though. Buckner touched it up just as it crossed the white line. McDowell now with a 2-strike count will look down to Buddy Harrelson to see what they want him to do here. A home run by Ray Knight. A single by Lenny Dykstra. A wild pitch moving him down to second base. And Rafael Santana's single scoring the run. Squares again. Takes it up high, pulling the bat back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Anja McDowell benefiting from these runs as he came on to pitch in the top of the inning. The Red Sox bench again very still. A 3-0 lead with their ace Hurst on the mound. Now a 5-3 deficit. The 1-2 delivery, squaring again. First base bunt. Buckner will go to first base and get the out. Sacrifice for McDowell. He looked down to second. Decided not to take the chance with Santana going in. Made the play to the second baseman, Marty Barrett. Sacrifice. Mookie coming up with a runner at second and 1 away. Mookie Wilson delivered a big hit in the 6th inning with a single. And he's not going to face Schiraldi. They're going to go for the left-hander, Joe Sambito, who has been warming up in the bullpen for the Boston Red Sox, is going to come into the ball game as Schiraldi will leave the game being touched up hard by his former teammates here in the 7th inning. With the pitching change being made, we'll pause for this message. Another former Met, Joe Sambito, played a portion of the season with New York last year, picked up by the Red Sox, will come on in relief. In World Series play, Sambito has appeared in just 1 game. He pitched no part of an inning, was charged with a run on 2 hits. And he delivered a wild pitch in his timeout.
As I recall, he faced two batters, both got base hits.
Joe Sambito and Cal Schiraldi, both former New York Mets. Sambito was on in Game 3 that was won by Bobby Ojeda, and Sambito gave up a single to Strawberry and an RBI double to Ray Knight, the only two batters that he faced. He now will face Mookie Wilson. Now's the time for you to enjoy an Arby's All-Star Roast Beef Sandwich, made with America's favorite roast beef. Arby's, an official sponsor of Major League Baseball. Rafael Santana on at second base, one down. The Mets pushing across 2 runs, and they are going to walk Mookie Wilson with Wally Backman on deck.
Gary, if the Mets can go on now and win the World Series, you have to believe Ray Knight would have a very good chance of being the series' most valuable player.
Sure is going to make it mighty tough on those conducting the voting with what Ray did here tonight. Mookie Wilson will draw the intentional pass. Sambito giving it. Runners at first and second, and Wally Backman will come to the plate for the first time. Backman came on as a pinch runner for Tim Tuffel and scored a run in the 6th inning. Backman will turn around and bat right-handed against the left-hander, Joe Sambito. 5-3, New York Met lead. Wally Backman this season did not see left-handers many times. He was 10 for 52, 192 against left-handers. Joe Sambito, 34-year-old veteran who had the great years with Houston, 2-0 with Boston, 53 games he appeared in as a reliever, and he had 12 saves. Sambito against Backman, 2 on and 1 down. They look for the double play. Sambito delivers. Backman takes it way outside, almost a wild pitch. Gedman jumping out to haul that one in. Ball 1. Joe Sambito overall in postseason has appeared now in 5 games. He's pitched only 2/3 of an inning and has given up a run on 3 hits. Did not appear for any length of time against the Angels. 1-0 count. He delivered to Backman up high. Sambito's behind on the count, 2-0. Coming into this series, it was believed that if you could get into the Red Sox bullpen, that was where you could do some damage offensively. Their bullpen pitched one very good ball game for them when Crawford got the win, but they have had trouble. 2-0 count, 2 on. The delivery, Backman taking down low, ball 3 with Keith Hernandez on deck. Keith has already been up once with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Now Wally Backman, 3-0 count. Santana's on at second, Mookie Wilson on at first base. That's trying to push this score up, leading 5-3. Sambito checks Santana. The 3-0 delivery, inside corner, strike call, 3-1. Joe came back with a fastball, rode it in on Wally Backman, batting right-handed. 3-1 count. Boston Red Sox right now are living a horror story. Sambito again comes to the set. 3-1 delivery. Outside, no, caught the corner. Wally Backman was headed to first base. John Kibler said no, it caught the outside corner, 3-2. Sambito has not given in. 3-0, he worked him on an inside corner pitch, then came back on the outside corner and has the count full. Wally Backman will step off now as Sambito looks back towards Rafael Santana. Wally hitting .353 in the series. 6 hits, 17 times up, and he's going to step out. Sambito will step off. Joe keeping a very close eye on Rafael Santana, the lead runner here at second base. Ricky Wilson on at first, with Buckner playing way behind him. They play Wally to hit towards right field. 3-2 count. Here's the delivery to Backman. Swung on, foul back, and he'll have to do it again. Count remains at 3-2.
Good job by Wally. He fought off a tough fastball. Wally likes to look for a fastball when he's hitting right-handed. He has better luck against that than he does against the breaking ball. And I don't know whether Sambito will throw the breaking ball 3-2. He might very well.
3-2, 1 down. Infield playing for 2. Mets have 2 runs in, including a homer homer by Ray Knight, the RBI single by Santana. She hit right over the bag at first. 3-2. Sambito hits the sign from Gedman. Comes to the belt, looks back to Santana. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Up high, walked him, and the bases are loaded again. So Wally Backman fighting off one 3-2 pitch. Kept himself alive, and Joe Sambito has now loaded the bases, and for the second inning in a row, Keith Hernandez comes up with the sacks full.
And a base hit right now could have the Mets on their way. They're on their way now, but really on their way with a base hit.
Bob Stanley, the right-hander, continues to warm up. Hernandez, of course, left-handed hitter, but Keith has done well always hitting against the lefties. And now Joe Sambito and Keith Hernandez will do battle. Hernandez, this past season, hit .307 against left-handers.
And he had the biggest hit of the year off of a left-hander his last time up. Mets were down 3-0. He singled off Bruce Hurst, driving the first 2 runs in.
Hurst giving off those 3 runs in the 6th inning. 3 on, 1 down. He'll work out of the stretch. Hernandez will step out on him.
You have to believe he'll throw Keith nothing but breaking balls away.
Keith adding 2 RBIs to his World Series total. Now has 3. Sambito ready. Here's the delivery. Swung on, hit in the air to center. Will score 1 run, tagging up Santana. Henderson going deep, waiting under it, makes the catch. Moving in to score will be Santana, and Mookie Wilson will move up to third, and the Mets lead 6-3. An RBI for Hernandez, his 3rd of the game. And Keith gets the high fives as he goes back into the dugout with a sacrifice fly to deep center field. Deep enough so that Mookie Wilson's able to move up to third base as Santana scores, and that'll be it for Joe Sambito. With Gary Carter coming to the plate, they'll go for Bob Stanley, the right-hander. So we are going to have another pitching change, and while we do, we'll pause for these messages. Bob Stanley, the right-hander, will come on and face Gary Carter with runners at first and third and 2 down.
Gary, we had thought they might use Oil Can Boyd in relief here tonight, but of course you hate to use a starting pitcher in relief. It is not a role they are accustomed to, although that's why you have to give Sid Fernandez so much credit. Starting pitcher all year long, called on twice in the World Series, and magnificent both times. And if the Mets go on to win, the man that stopped them and turned the game around was Sid Fernandez.
And he not only did it on the playing field between the lines, but he did it for the fans by striking out the 4 batters that he struck out in his 2 1/3 innings. He brought the fans to their feet and got them roaring, and that roaring went into the 6th inning when the New York Mets tied the ball game up. Now the New York Mets have a 6-3 lead. Gary Carter coming up. He has driven in a run on a fielder's choice. That came in the 6th inning when Evans came after a sinking line drive, could not catch it, but was able to hold Keith Hernandez between first and second long enough to throw him out after he got up and threw to second base. Carter is 0 for 2, 0 for 3 with an RBI. Pitches down low, ball 1. Bob Stanley, the right-hander. Mookie's on at third. Wally Backman on at first base. The New York Mets have pushed 3 more runs across here in the 7th inning. The delivery to Stanley, swung on, a chopper to short. Owen short hops it, makes the play to first, and gets the out. Good play by Spike Owen, but the New York Mets have taken the lead. They pick up 3 runs, including a home run by Ray Knight. RBI going to Santana and another to Hernandez. We go to the 8th inning. New York 6, Boston 3. Sonny Dykstra will stay in the game and play in center. Mookie Wilson will move from center to left. Wally Backman, of course, stayed in. He is at second base. New York 6 runs on 7 hits. The Red Sox 3 runs on 6 hits. The Red Sox had back-to-back home runs off Ron Darling in the 2nd by Evans and Gedman. Another RBI single by Boggs. They scored all of their runs in the 2nd inning against Ron Darling. Roger McDowell on in relief after Sid Fernandez went 2 1/3. Scoreless, hitless inning, striking out 4. Now McDowell 6 outs away to the New York Mets. The way this series has gone, just stay right where you are and hang on. Bill Buckner will lead it off. Rice and Evans to follow. Buckner with a single and 3 times up. Left-hander takes the pitch for a strike called. Schiraldi goes a third of an inning, 3 runs on 3 hits. Sambito, a third of an inning, will be charged with zeros across. Bob Stanley came on to get the final out. Sambito gave up a couple of walks. 1 intentional. Roger McDowell into the windup, and the delivery to Buckner. Swung on, lined into left field, a leadoff single. And Buckner has the Red Sox off with a base hit here in the 8th inning. Again, a leadoff single. As the Red Sox have made it hard on New York pitchers all night long by getting their leadoff people on base. Now Jim Rice, the cleanup batter. He has singled, struck out, and flied out. Was thrown out in the 3rd inning. And a good play by Kevin Mitchell in left field as he tried to extend a single into a double. Top of the 8th inning. Each team now with 7 hits. Infield will play for 2. The pitch swung on and fouled off. Strike 1. Evans waiting on deck. The power hitter Jim Rice will step up. Move out as McDowell goes to the back of the mound. Roger with that sinking fastball wants that ground ball right here. Real good chance for the double play. Buckner at first, of course, very slow. Rice without speed. Swung on and fouled off again. That sinker's working. And McDowell's ahead on the count here, 2 strikes. Jim Rice has picked up 8 hits and 26 times to the plate in World Series play. Right now the Red Sox staring down the barrel as the pressure has been turned around. The Mets getting 3 runs in the 6th inning and 3 more in the 7th. Chasing Bruce Hurst after 6. Teeing off on Schiraldi in only a third of an inning to get the 6-3 lead. 2-strike delivery. Inside, jammed him too much inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Boston Red Sox will have to play catch-up baseball. The New York Mets trying to come from behind again. Nobody had done that before Saturday night when the Mets did it here in Game 6. They have done it again in Game 7. 1-2 pitch, inside again, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rice. New York Met management show of force between innings as they had the mounted patrol just come out in the outfield. Swing from center field into the bullpens. They're all there in each bullpen now. New York City Mounted Police. 2-2. The delivery, swung on, line drive to short, out of the reach of Santana, base hit. And Jim Rice is on. He hit it hard. Right on the button to center field.
And very quickly, the tying run comes to bat. What an amazing World Series.
Unbelievable.
Jesse Orozco immediately back to work.
2 hits. The lead off the top half of the 8th inning. 2 on, nobody out, and Dwight Evans, who delivered his 2nd World Series home run in the 2nd inning off Ron Darling, has since flied out the center and struck out swinging against Sid Fernandez. Met fans, would you like to win a trip to the New York Mets spring training camp in 1987? Well, you can. Listen tomorrow to WHN 1050 and play Mystery Met Game. Nobody out and 2 on. Roger McDowell facing the veteran Dwight Evans. Evans with 2 home runs against the New York Mets. Picked up 7 hits now in World Series play. McDowell delivers inside, ball 1. Roger McDowell in a dangerous situation right here. McDowell in Game 6, an inning and 2/3, a run on 2 hits. McDowell pitched in Game 4, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 2/3 of an inning. 1-0 delivery. That's a strike call at the knees. He appeared in Game 3, went 2 scoreless, hitless innings. Roger McDowell was in Game 1, going 2 innings and giving up 2 hits. Roger McDowell has seen plenty of action here in the World Series, his 5th game. 1-1. Delivery swung on, hit in the air. That's going to be a base hit into right center field. All the way back to the wall. It'll score 1 run. Buckner coming in.
Jim Rice will make the turn. He's going to come home. And at second base with a double is Dwight Evans. It is a 6-5 ball game. And the tying run is on at second base. That might be it for Roger McDowell because Rich Gedman, a left-hand hitter, is coming up. Jesse Orozco has been getting ready in the bullpen. This World Series, totally unpredictable. Just when it appeared that for the first time in the entire series, the Mets might be able to relax, they cannot relax. Here comes Davy Johnson. Dwight Evans has now driven in 3 of the Red Sox 5 runs in this game with a homer and that 2 RBI double. The Red Sox battling back, nobody out. Tying run at second. That'll be it for Roger McDowell, and we'll see another left-hander as Jesse Orozco is going to come on in relief. So McDowell got out of the 7th inning, retiring the side 1-2-3. Going to be touched up here. He'll pitch only an inning plus, and they'll have 3 hits off him. 2 runs already. He's responsible for the runner on at second base, and will pick up a strikeout with no walks. And Jesse Orozco will be called on to relieve Roger McDowell. Well, you talk about running a up and down seesaw in this World Series. These 2 benches just don't know what to do when. We might very well see Don Baylor. They've been waiting for the right spot to put Don Baylor up as a pinch hitter of this World Series. Now when they hit for Gedman, Dave Henderson is on deck. He may hold him for Spike Owen. He'd hold him probably for that shortstop position. They would probably not want to take Gedman out behind the plate. And nobody out. Nobody out. Too important a position for that catcher right now to make the change. Jesse Orozco has appeared in 3 games in the series, picking up a save, 3 2/3 innings, no runs and a couple of hits. He has struck out 4 and has not walked a batter in relief. And Orozco, the left-hander, now in a real tough situation with that tying run on at second base. Funny how quickly Roger lost his sinker. He had it going so well in the 7th inning. Boggs grounded out, Barrett grounded out. But then suddenly, Billy Buckner opens the 8th inning with a single. That was to the opposite field. Rice hit it awfully hard just beyond the reach of Santana. And Evans, who's having an outstanding World Series game, double 2 runs in. And this game is really up for grabs. And this crowd that was just roaring moments ago, now you can hear a pin drop. Yeah, just going to hang on. This is the way it's supposed to be if you were writing the story. Script on this one would look just about like this if you just wanted to have high tension in the ball game. Orozco appeared on Saturday in Game 6, going only a third of an inning. He got Buckner to fly out, the only batter that he faced in that one. He also appeared in Game 4, going an inning and a third. No runs, no hits, striking out a batter. Jesse Orozco was also in Game 2, 2 innings, no runs on 2 hits in that one. They have Al Nipper warming up now in the Boston Red Sox bullpen. He was the starting pitcher in Game 4. So as we get down towards the bottom of the order, John McNamara with the wheels turning. And the heat's on again for everybody. I wonder if he might think of a bunt here to get that tying run to third. Dave Henderson, who can hit the fly ball, is on deck. Will be a tough one. Now, Davy Johnson is coming out to talk with John Kibler, the home plate umpire, as Jesse Orozco is set to go, and the batter Gedman standing in. Now, we'll see what this is all about, as Kibler is going to go out and talk to Harry Wendelstedt, umpiring at second base. Wendelstedt and Kibler conversing between the mound and the first baseline. Davy Johnson standing just along the first baseline, waiting to see what the outcome is. I have no idea what he is asking about here. Now he's talking to Gary Carter, and I think he was talking to Carter about the potential bunt here. He was looking down at third base, and he's looking at Ray Knight. He wants Ray to play back. Now Gary Carter not sure, and is looking over again to Davy Johnson. Just want to make sure they know how they're playing this. Orozco's responsibility here will be to get off the mound and go towards third. If they think there's going to be a bunt, they want Ray Knight to stay back to try and get the lead runner. Evans at second, Gedman up, nobody out, tying run. Dwight Evans at second base. Orozco will look back, getting back towards the bag. Rafael Santana playing way over towards second base here with a left-handed batter up. Carter again going out to talk to Orozco.
again looking over to third. They want to make sure here, Gedman tries to lay one down, that they all know where they're going. Gedman in the ball game has drawn a walk, scored a run in the second inning. He was hit by take that back. He had a home run in the second inning, grounded out and struck out. Now they'll throw to third, an appeal play, and they say it's safe. Somebody they felt missed third base, either Buckner or Rice.
Now we know why Davy Johnson came out.
So the appeal play is made to no avail. Nobody out. Jesse Orozco to the belt. The delivery to Gedman. Strike called on a breaking ball. He did not square around on that one. With nobody out, if Gedman could pull the ball, he would get the same results, moving that runner up to third base. He is a left-handed batter, and he is a pull hitter. One strike count on him. Orozco delivers. Slider swung on and missed. Gedman looks as though he has enormous trouble against left-handers. Pitches that are breaking away from him, he's not able to cover the outer part of that plate, and he's behind on the count here 0-2. During the season, though, he hit .282 against left-handers, so he didn't have too much trouble.
I guess he either looks awfully good or awfully bad.
2-strike count on him. Santana backs off second. Here's the delivery. Check swing up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gedman with Dave Henderson waiting on deck. Gedman's home run in the second inning, his first in the World Series. Back-to-back with Evans. Second run Boston put up against Ron Darling. Orozco's 1-2 pitch, swung on, hard hit to second. Right at Backman to short. Ooh, they didn't quite get him. Almost a double play. Hard line drive right at Wally Backman. He went to Santana covering second, but Evans, diving back in, made it safely.
Boy, Gedman is amazing. He'll look so bad swinging and missing a pitch. And he'll come right back and hit a hard line drive. Almost had the double play.
Good base running by Dwight Evans. If he'd have been caught on that one, you could have understood it, but he got back in on the head-first dive.
If they had gotten the runner to third, the batter coming up now, Dave Henderson, seems to hit a fly ball almost every time he makes contact.
Now with a runner at second and 1 down, Dave Henderson, he's walked, been hit by a pitch and flied out to center field. Henderson has had 10 hits in 24 times up in this World Series. A right-handed batter against Jesse Orozco. Spike Owen comes out in the on-deck circle, but Baylor also around the bat rack. 6-5 Met lead. Orozco ready. The delivery swung on and fouled off, strike 1. All the pressure you could possibly imagine in a baseball game here in Game 7.
And it'll be even a little thicker in just a few moments if Don Baylor comes out to hit for Spike Owen.
Runner at second base is the tying run in this game. Dave Henderson, 8 for 36 against the right-handers and against left-handers this season. He had some trouble with it, hitting .133. Only 2 for 15 against lefties with the Red Sox. Pitch swung on and missed. Slider inside on him. And Jesse Orozco goes up on the count, 2 strikes. Orozco in postseason play has shown that slider of old, that real good biting pitch, coming in on the right-handers and away from the left-handers. Again, the Shea Stadium crowd on their feet. Here's the 2-strike delivery. Check swing inside, gets away from Carter, but out in front of him. Runner will hold. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Henderson. Mets came into this inning with a 6-3 lead. But Buckner's single, Rice's single, and a 2 RBI double by Evans. We're right back to a 1-run ball game at 6-5. And the Sox again are out hitting New York 9-7. Infield playing back deep on the left side. Ray Knight guarding the line at third. Backman has swung way over behind second base. Hernandez in the hole between first and second. 1-2 count. Orozco delivers. Swung on and missed. Struck out Dave Henderson. 2 down.
And here comes Don Baylor.
If you love baseball, you got to love this. The game's all about these matchups, pitchers and hitters. When you get to Game 7, only the best have survived it, and Don Baylor will come out as the entire New York Mets infield conferences behind the mound with Jesse Orozco.
You don't intentionally walk what could be the winning run. Once in a great while it is done, but it's strictly against the book. The pitcher is due up next. John McNamara, of course, would put up a pinch hitter.
Don Baylor coming to the plate for the Boston Red Sox. Baylor in postseason play hitting .306. He's had 11 hits and 36 times up, a homer, and 3 RBIs against the California Angels. He has been to the plate 10 times as the DH at Fenway, went 2 for 10 with an RBI.
Jesse's been pitching these right-hand batters inside. Baylor stands right on top of the plate. It's hard to do.
It's hit by a pitch a lot. Runner at second, 2 down, the pitch to Baylor. Strike call at the letters. Baylor finished the season with Boston hitting at .238. Picked up 31 home runs and 94 RBIs for Don Baylor. 37-year-old veteran of 15-plus Major League seasons. Jesse Orozco, 1 strike count. Evans off second base. The delivery to him, swung on, ground ball to short. Santana's got it. Makes the throw, and the inning is over. Orozco gets out of it. The tying run stays at second base for the Red Sox. Get 2 on 3 hits. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mets 6, Boston 5. Phenomenal ending to the World Series continues. The Mets lead 6-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Al Nipper, a starting pitcher, will come on in relief as Stanley will go a third of an inning and have zeros across. He retired. The only batter he faced, Gary Carter. And Al Nipper, a right-hander, 27 years old, 10-12 in 26 starts for the Red Sox this past season. 159 innings, 186 hits given up. He walked 47 and struck out 79. Here in the World Series, Al Nipper pitched in 1 game. He got 1 start going 6 innings, giving up 3 runs on 7 hits. The only start for Nipper, the one, of course, that was questioned in Game 4. Gary Carter had a home run off him, and Nipper now comes on to face Strawberry, Knight, and Dykstra. Ed Romero will play shortstop in place of Owen. Baylor pinch hitting for him, and he will bat in the number 9 spot, and the pitcher Nipper will bat 8th so that they can get Romero up for another pinch hitter in the 9th inning. Strawberry fouls it back, strike 1. Mets sent 8 batters to the plate in the 7th inning, getting their 3 runs on 3 hits. Strawberry, Knight, and Dykstra here in the bottom of inning number 8. Al Nipper delivers, swung on a ground ball to first, foul, and Nipper's ahead on the count, 0-2. 27-year-old right-hander is the 5th pitcher in this game for the Red Sox. The runs were charged to Bruce Hurst, who was cruising along, giving up only 1 single in the 2nd tonight, the 6th inning. So the Mets got 3 runs on 3 hits off him and knocked him out of the ball game as they tied it up and then went ahead in the 7th. Delivery, swung on, hit in the air to right field, fairly deep. Evans going back at the wall. Goodbye, home run, Darryl Strawberry. 7-5, New York. Met fans have waited for this entire series to see a launch shot by Darryl Strawberry, and they get one.
Real Darryl Strawberry home run, a mile high, way over in right center and far beyond the wall. And what a big home run. Now Roscoe has another run to work with.
7-5, New York leading. Ray Knight, Strawberry out for the encore. Ray Knight delivered a big home run in the 7th inning. his first of the series, takes the pitch for a strike called. Knight blasting one into the pavilion in left center field that puts the New York Mets on top. The delivery, breaking ball, strike on the inside corner. Knight behind, 2 strikes. Strawberry caught one, put it way out by the scoreboard in right field, being hugged by Kevin Mitchell in the New York Met dugout. Streamers coming down on the field now, and that will delay the ball game as the team that will not die comes back again.
And most of the crowd booing the fans who have thrown the streamers out on the field. They want to see the game come to a conclusion.
The Met fans have taken a roller coaster ride along with their ball club, just as the Boston fans have done. Boy, what a World Series.
Think about that home run. The minute Strawberry hit it, he knew he had it. He just walked away from the batter's box and went into that home run trot.
New York Mets with 2 home runs in this ball game. Now in the World Series have come away with 7. Using the long ball as they did all season long.
And if the Mets can win it, there'll be a big ticker tape parade in Manhattan tomorrow, starting at 12 o'clock from Battery Park to City Hall.
Ray Knight is 2 for 3 in this ball game. The 2-strike pitch swung on, base hit up the middle. 3 hits for Ray Knight. No, he's putting on a show in Game 7.
He might be my vote for most valuable player in the World Series for New York.
The Mets win. That hit, that home run, will be the blow. And it will be the game-winning RBI if they stay ahead. Al Nipper now has been touched up for a home run and a single. Lenny Dykstra coming to the plate. Dykstra delivered a single in the 7th inning, following the home run by Knight. Roger McDowell stands to win this ball game. Jesse Orozco right now stands to get a save. Cal Schiraldi would be the loser if it stays the way it is. But whether it will stay the way it is a long way off.
They have Steve Crawford up again in the bullpen.
Al Nipper will throw to first base. No lead for Knight. He's back easily. So the Mets again have come back, and they now have 9 hits in the game. Each team with 9. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. New York leading 7-5. The pitch. Breaking ball inside to Dykstra. Ball 1. Lenny Dykstra with his single. Now picked up 8 hits in 26 times to the plate in World Series play. And, of course, his postseason play, batting at .300. Had the best series at the plate against Houston. Strike called at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. New York Mets leading 7-5 in Game 7. Trying to put away a world championship. Neither team's been willing to be put away. 1-1 delivery squared to bunt. It is down low. He pulled the bat back in time. 2-1. You're looking ahead. And don't do too much of that. The Boston Red Sox will have the 9th man up right now. That's Romero. And Boggs and Barrett scheduled in the top of the 9th inning. Lenny Dykstra waiting the pitch. Outside. Ball 3, 3-1. And in this ball game, the Mets trying to do everything they can here to add as many runs as possible on that board.
They had only 3 off the starting pitcher, Bruce Hurst. But once they got to the bullpen, they scored 4 runs.
3-1 delivery. Runner goes. Ground ball hit towards second. It is scooped up by the shortstop Romero. Throw to first. They get the out. Knight at second base. Ray Knight was off and going. The ball, Ray Knight, Romero, and Barrett all came together around second base.
And it was a play Romero could not have made except for the fact that the runner was going. And Romero was on his way to second to cover. He crossed over in front of second, stabbed the ground ball, and threw first.
Davey Johnson had the hit and run on with Lenny Dykstra up. Almost worked it. 1 down. Knight on at second base. Rafael Santana, the Met shortstop, with Orozco on deck. And they'll conference at the mound again. Making sure that Romero knows what's going on. Marty Barrett, the second baseman, goes over to talk to him after meeting with Gedman. And the pitcher, Al Nipper, at the mound. Schiraldi, 3 runs, 3 hits in a third of an inning. Sambito, a third of an inning, walked 2. Stanley got the only man out he faced. They're going to walk Santana and face Orozco. The intentional pass will be given up here. Rafael Santana will draw it. We saw a crazy, wild pitch when Lenny Dykstra was on at first base. wild pitch was delivered that allowed him to move up into scoring position. Nipper being careful not to do that here because it was a pitch out that allowed him to move up. There's ball 4.
And I think it was a pitch that hurt Giraldi a lot. I think he kind of came unglued after that.
Really unnerved him to deliver a wild pitch on a pitch out, especially when the base runner wasn't going. So Jesse Orozco will hit with 1 down. Mookie Wilson is on deck. 1 away, runners at first and second. Strawberry with a home run. Off Nipper to lead this inning off. Knight singles. He's on at second base. Santana with the intentional pass now on at first. Met fans all on their feet here. Huge crowd shoehorned in, and they have seen another just magnificent baseball game that is not yet over. 55,032, the paid attendance here tonight. Jesse Orozco stands in, right-handed batter, left-handed pitcher. Nipper to the belt, they're charging at the corners. He squares the bunt, lets it go by. It is inside, ball 1. They're moving Romero, the shortstop, over to third base to cover. They'll try and get the lead runner with Buckner and Boggs charging at first and third. And now Boggs looks over to John McNamara to see how they want to play this. Buckner will relay the information on at second and short. Romero was rotating that time, moving over to third base. Jesse Orozco will talk with Buddy Harrelson now with a 1-0 count. He may want Jesse to take one here until Nipper throws a strike, or may want him to get down the first pitch he can. We'll see. 1 away. Knight getting off at second. He'll keep a very close eye on Romero, the shortstop, who's in behind him. Squares again, lets it go. It's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's leading 7-5. They were behind 3-0 when the Sox got 3 in the second. Hurst was mowing down the Red Sox until the 6th inning, when they got a 1-out single by Lee Mazzilli, the pinch hitter. A single by Wilson, a walk to Tuffel, a 2 RBI single by Hernandez, and a fielder's choice RBI by Carter.
Saturday night, Lee Mazzilli came up as a pinch hitter, got a base hit, came around to score a very big run, and then started the rally tonight.
1-1 count. Delivery, they rotate again. He swings away, a chopper, base hit in the center field. Lee Knight will score, and Orozco has an RBI single. It is 8-5 New York. Oh, my Lord, when you least expect it. A rotating infield, nobody playing on the left side, and Jesse put it on the shortstop side of second base.
Buddy Harrelson called Orozco down for a quick meeting. Davy Johnson had made the change. He didn't like the way they were charging in so close. Jesse is a good athlete. He can do an awful lot of things and do them very well. So they told him to swing away. He did it perfectly. He hit it over the mound, he hit it over second, and he hit it into center field. And the Mets now on a 3-run lead, Jerry.
And here comes John McNamara with Mookie Wilson due up. I believe that is going to be it for Al Nipper.
He has Steve Crawford out in the bullpen.
Jesse Orozco allowed to hit away, as Davy Johnson has said all season long. I don't play this game by the book sometimes. He didn't play it by the book again then, and it pays off for him. He guessed that the infield would be rotating, and he was right, with Romero going over to third base.
Gary, you mentioned earlier, about 3 innings earlier, that if you could get to the Red Sox bullpen, your chances were a lot better. Each of the last 4 pitchers coming out of the Red Sox bullpen has worked only 1/3 of an inning.
They have been touched up for 3 runs off Giraldi, and now you will add 2 more at least to Bob Nipper. Steve Crawford is going to come on in relief. Crawford has a victory in the World Series as he came out of the bullpen and picked up the win in Game 2. The delivery to Mookie swung on and popped up down the third baseline. Boggs will not have a play. It'll curve over into the stands. Mookie Wilson had a big single in the 6th inning, drew an intentional pass in the 7th. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Mookie now has picked up 7 hits and 26 times to the plate. Steve Crawford, the right-hander, is the 6th Boston pitcher. Cannot believe how this ball game has changed in its complexion.
Gary, if the Mets win this, you'll be downstairs.
Yahoo.
Yahoo. Good luck.
The 0-1 delivery. Look out. Mookie gets out of the way and hit him on the bottom of the foot. Hit by a pitch. Bases are loaded. Wally Backman coming up.
Deja vu. That happened Saturday night, and what a big play it was. A pitch almost like that, only from Bob Stanley. Mookie jackknifed and managed to get away from it. It was a wild pitch, and the tying run came in to score.
He made the same jump move as he did on that wild pitch. Gedman got that one. Bases are loaded. Wally Backman up. One down. 8-5 Met lead. Backman came on and drew a walk in the 7th inning after he came on as a pinch runner for Timmy Tuffel in the 6th. Infield playing in with one down and the bases full. Steve Crawford delivers. Swung on a broken back ground ball to second. Played by Barrett home. They'll get the out. No relay to first. They get the force out and there are 2 down. Splintered the bat on Wally Backman that time. He will reach on the force out made at the plate. They take out the lead runner, Rafael Santana. Orozco moves over to third base. Mookie Wilson down to second. Wally Backman on at first. This is the 8th man up in this inning. New York sent 8 to the plate in the 7th. 8th man up here, Keith Hernandez. He has been up with the bases loaded 3 times in this game. He delivered a 2 RBI single in the 6th and an RBI sacrifice fly in the 7th.
Big 3 RBI game for Keith Hernandez.
2 away, 3 on. Delivery to Keith. Outside, ball 1. The New York Mets with 3 runs in the 6th, 3 runs in the 7th. They've added 2 more here in the 8th. An 8-5 lead. They have out-hit Boston now 10-9. Orozco, the lead runner at third. 1-0 delivery. Check swing. He went around on it. Good pitch by Crawford. Fighting breaking ball in on Keith Hernandez. He knew he went around on it, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Hernandez, who came into this game with only 1 RBI in the World Series, has picked up 3 in this game. 1-1 count on him. The delivery outside, ball 2, 2-1.
And I want to remind our listening audience that if the Mets win it, Gary Thorne will be in the clubhouse talking to a very, very happy bunch of ball players.
The way this has gone, Bob, with the Houston series and this one, you know they are going to let it all hang out if they can hang on and win this ball game.
And Yogi Berra's been proved right over and over in this series. It's never over, it's over.
2-1 count. Here's the delivery. Swung on, hit towards second. Barrett short hops it, drops it, picks it up, throws to Buckner. Good play by Marty Barrett. Hernandez is retired. The New York Mets add 2 runs, including a homer by Strawberry and an RBI single by Orozco. 3 outs away from a world championship. We go to the 9th. New York 8, Boston 5. Bob, you've been here for them before, but I'll tell you, they never change in excitement, do they?
Nothing matches the excitement of a World Series. Unless it's the 7th game of a World Series. People Express team of airlines, with their low prices, you can enjoy away games from the stands instead of your sofa. Ed Romero leads off the 9th inning. Fasten your seatbelts. New York leading 8-5. Ed Romero, the backup shortstop. Right-hand batter will be leading off. Then Wade Boggs and Marty Barrett. Jesse Orozco came on for McDowell in the 8th inning. Retired Gedman, Henderson, and Don Baylor. Crowd settling back just for a moment. There'll be a roar with everything that happens. It is the 7th game of the World Series, the 9th inning. The pitch. Strike call, a letter high fastball. Jesse Orozco, who won 3 games against the Astros, bidding for a save here in Game 7. Now the windup by Orozco, the pitch on the way. Low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's have the infield straight away. The outfield is straight away. Lenny Dykstra is playing center now with Mookie in left and Strawberry in right. Now Orozco siding in. The pitch to Romero. At a high pop-up, it might be playable. Gary Carter looking for it. Hernandez calling foul ground. Look out. Makes the catch. Oh, good play by Keith Hernandez. Towering pop foul. It was going to be a foul ball even if he didn't catch it, but a beautiful catch by Keith Hernandez, who was almost up to the fungo circle near home plate. 1 man down in the 9th inning. Mets are now 2 outs from a World Series victory. The best hitter in baseball, Wade Boggs, is up. He had 3 hits Saturday night, and he's 1 for 3 in a walk here tonight. Left-hander against left-hander. Orozco in relief has retired 4 in a row. The on-deck hitter is Marty Barrett. Now the pitch on the way. Slider wide. 1 ball and no strikes. This crowd of 55,000 plus ready to turn all their happiness loose. Now Orozco is ready. The 1-0 delivery. Foul back. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wade Boggs. Mets were behind 3-0 at the end of 5 innings, and over the first 5 innings, they had only 1 base runner. That was Ray Knight. But then the left-hander Hurst, maybe weakened, maybe became a little tired on 3 days rest. The Mets rallied to tie it. High foul out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wade Boggs. Mets hoping to win their second ever World Series title, fittingly enough coming in their 25th anniversary year. They won in '69. If they win here tonight, they're the only expansion team to win 2 world titles. Now the 1-2 delivery. Check swing foul ball, no play, over into the crowd. Count holding at 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's been a remarkable series. And the unpredictable has happened so often. Not the predictable, the unpredictable. As happened Saturday night here at Shea Stadium. Orozco into his motion. Now the pitch. Ground ball to the right side of the infield. Backman waiting on the hop. Throws to Hernandez. 2 down. 2 men down. The Mets are 1 out away from winning a World Series. The hitter coming up will be Marty Barrett. 1 hit in 4 times at bat tonight. The hit was a bunt single, a perfect bunt. His 13th hit of the series, tying a series record held by Bobby Richardson and by Lou Brock. Orozco, who has been magnificent, has now retired 5 in a row in relief, and we're going to be held up for a moment. Somebody has thrown a smoke bomb out into the outfield, and the red smoke will take some time to clear out of here. Just when Orozco was in that real good groove, and you can bet Jesse not too thrilled about that. And it's going to take a few minutes now for that to burn down. And the crowd here at Shea booing whoever threw it out there. Grounds crew coming out. They'll try and snatch it and take it out of there while it is still smoldering. But it's going to take a few minutes now for that bright red smoke, because there's no wind to blow it away. We've had no wind at all here tonight at Shea Stadium. It's just kind of spreading out. You can't even see the left fielder. 2 outs and nobody on. 9th inning, 8-5 New York. Mets came from behind. They were up against Bruce Hurst, who already had beaten them twice in the World Series. He allowed 1 hit over 5 innings. Mets were trailing 3-0 in the 6th inning. Davey Johnson put up Lee Mazzilli as a pinch hitter, and Mazzilli singled to left. That was only the 2nd hit off the left-hander at the time, and before the inning was over, the Mets would score 3 runs and tie it up. The Mets took the lead for the first time when Ray Knight led off with a home run to make it 4-3 New York. He hit the home run off hard-throwing Calvin Schiraldi. That's when they had 6-3, but Boston came back with 2 to make it 6-5. Mets came back with 2 more in their half of the 8th inning. And right now we're just waiting for that smoke from the smoke bomb to kind of dissipate and get out of the way. It's almost gone. We're about ready to resume play. 2 outs and nobody on. The hitter is Marty Barrett. Listen carefully. The Mets are 1 out away from winning the World Series. It would be their 116th victory of the year. Now Ray Knight yelling something over to Rafael Santana. Santana is shaded toward the middle of the diamond. The hitter is Marty Barrett, the leading hitter of the World Series. Now Orozco into his windup. The pitch. Strike call at the letters, strike 1. Now the Mets are 2 strikes away. The on-deck hitter of Goodwood is Billy Buckner, and then Jim Rice. It is never easy. Gary Carter sending out the sign. The pitch on the way, outside and high. 1 ball and 1 strike. 8-5 New York, 9th inning, 2 outs and nobody on. Jesse in relief has retired 5 in a row. The 1-1 delivery. And a swing and a miss, I believe. They'll check it out. No, he did not swing. The first base umpire, Jim Evans, said no. He did not swing at it. And the count is 2 balls and a strike. He jammed him with a slider inside. He started after it, but he stopped the swing just in time. Buckner playing over to right center. 2-1 delivery. And did he swing? He started it again. This time he swung. Now, my friends, it is 2-2 on Marty Barrett. He is a contact hitter, a very difficult batter to strike out. 8-5, the Mets are one strike away from winning the World Series. The winner would be McDowell, but the save would go to Jesse Orozco, and he has been magnificent. Crowd all standing and yelling here at Shea right now, yelling as loud as they can. Here's the pitch. Fouled out of play down the right field line, and it's still 2-2 on Marty Barrett. New York 8 runs on 10 hits. Boston 5 runs on 9 hits. Gary Thorne will be in the clubhouse talking with the happy Met players if they can get this final out. They're within 1 strike. Twice they were within 1 strike of losing on Saturday night. Now the pitch on the way. He struck him out. Struck him out. The Mets have won the World Series. And their crowd jamming and crowding all over Jesse Orozco. He's somewhere on the bottom of that pile. He struck out Marty Barrett. The dream has come true. The Mets have won the World Series, coming from behind to win the 7th ball game. And the crowd is behaving beautifully. They are not going over the railing. They are not going out of the field. And it's a very good thing because all the Met players are out on the mound. You've never seen anybody rush somebody like they rushed Jesse Orozco. Orozco had dropped to his knees in happiness. The Mets have won it all. They are the world champions of baseball. They're still having their celebration on the pitcher's mound. The crowd well behaved. They are not rushing the field. They're allowing the players to enjoy this out at the pitcher's mound. It's all over. The Mets win it by a final score of 8-5. Oh, what gutsy guys they have been. Time and again, they came from behind. Do you realize that 4 of their wins in postseason play, they won it in their final turn at bat. And now Orozco jumping up and jumping down. Oh, he's the happiest man you've ever seen. They're all that happy, and well, they should be. So New York will have a parade tomorrow in Manhattan. A ticker tape parade for the world champion New York Mets.